Hey everybody, welcome to the 4K Lowdown on a very special beginning of season 2 of our top 10, formerly Tuesday. Today and next week is going to be Thursday. But eventually we're going to move to Mondays for our top 10 movie madness. But let's get it started. I'm David from the 4K Lowdown. My co-host is
Rich, aka Turner Fan 77.
Rich. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. We already
Good.
got Dell up.
Yeah, what's up, Dell?
Dell's up. And his top spot is Pootie Tang.
We
So
can pick to that movie.
the only thing I gotta say is arate, but that's as far as I can go with that one. It unfortunately did not make our list, but
I have never seen it. I have
you've
never
never seen
seen
Pootie. I have seen Pootie Tang.
it. I
I
have. That's
can't say
just
it's my
that's
favorite,
all I need.
but it's it's funny. It's yeah.
Well, I have never
It,
seen it. Sorry, Dell.
well,
I hope
um,
everyone's having a great week. Because then it's
yeah,
Thursday. The week's almost over.
I know. We got um, I have a very special week coming up next week. Um, So so I'm excited because on Sunday I leave for vacation,
Oh, that's
which
gonna be
is why
fun.
it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to the coast. It's going to rain the whole time, but I don't care. I love the beach no matter what. So it's actually going to be warmer at the coast than it is going to be here. So that almost never happens.
Yeah,
But I'm looking forward to that.
you'll have a blast.
Um, yeah, I think it's going to be a blast. So yeah, I'll be celebrating my wife's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to my wife. I'm not allowed to say her age. Um, and it's my work anniversary. It'll be my 27th anniversary at my job.
How long?
27 years.
Oh, damn.
So
That's
I
commitment.
that's commitment. That's a career. That I made that
Yeah.
a career. So yeah, it's more than half my life.
Yeah.
I've done this job. I've worked for this company. So
Well, that's good though, man.
yeah, it's good. I like it. Um, had a had my review yesterday, and everything was exceeds expectations.
Awesome.
And they asked me, they were like, "So are you planning on leaving soon? Are you retiring?" They're like trying to gauge me out as to what I'm gonna do later. And I'm like, I don't know. If my podcast takes off, I might I might be leaving sooner rather than later. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Um, Thanks, Dell. I really appreciate that, man. Dell's one of my favorite people
Yeah, Dell's freaking
on
awesome.
here. He's so cool, very supportive,
Yeah, he is.
great guy to talk to, and it's just really funny how he and I have been friends on Twitter for years before I even started thinking about Instagram or YouTube or any of that stuff. And we've always been comparing movie scores and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
to I ran into him on here and I'm like, oh man, I remember you that we're talking. So Dell's a great guy.
If I remember right, he's a big Batman fan, right? So we're gonna have to get him on Comic Talk.
All right. There's my buddy Mike.
What's up, Mike?
Thanks, brother. I really
Oh,
appreciate you going on.
Jared's there.
He
How you
he
doing,
and I
Jared?
wrestled together in UPW, so he's one of
Oh,
my pro
awesome.
wrestling friends. He wrestled as pure talent,
That's
and
cool.
and then of course I was the family man. So and in the I was in a battle royal, and he threw me out.
Oh, that
Still
dirty.
still kind of pissed off about that, but he whispered in our ear, "It's time for you to go, Dave," and he flips me over the top rope. I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then we got Jared. Jared, how you doing, brother? Thank you so much for joining
What's
us.
up, Jared?
So what we're doing, basically, what I did. Well, we did it with dice last time, but I got my Scrabble bag. So what we did was we randomly picked a letter, and we picked 6 movies each from that letter. I have to start with that letter, and Yes, he is a big Bat fan, but haven't read a comic in 20
Yeah.
years.
Oof.
See, that's
Yep.
kind of my problem. I haven't
Hmm.
read comic books in a long time, but Rich is just starting to get me back into it.
That's good.
And I mean, because I used to be a huge comic book fan. I was mainly a Marvel guy, but because my favorite comic book superhero was Silver Surfer. I can't explain why. I read a comic from him and I was like, dude, I'm collecting this guy. And then I just started. Um, whereas basically he took out an armada by himself. And I
Right.
was like, wow, okay, I'm gonna check this guy out. And then I learned all about the Silver Surfer and the Heralds of Galactus, and so that's kind of where my focus was when I was in my 20s. What I was reading a lot, and then I moved into Guardians of the Galaxy and New Warriors, Avengers, X-Men, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, that was the battle royal for Gonzo. They put me in charge of it for whatever. Yeah, I know, and I just kind of came in at random, and it was just a haphazard plan. I was refereeing the battle royal, and it was a hardcore battle royal, so there was weapons and all kinds of stuff. Um, well, the deal was that somebody was gonna come out of the ring, start talking shit to me, slap me in the face, and then I was supposed to jump in the ring and kick his ass. And that's what I did. And that's what happened. So, and then before I knew it, throwing people over the ropes and doing stuff because it's just a madhouse in there. Before I knew it, there was four people left in the ring, and I was one of them. And I was like, "Oh shit, I wasn't supposed to get this far in the match." And then, so yeah, good times. Yeah, it was awesome, bro. But yeah,
Any
our
video
friend,
footage of this?
I don't know if there was, but yeah, um, we were in Anaheim. It was outdoor. Actually, I do have a couple of pictures from that battle royal. Um, but anyway, all of a sudden there was four people. I was the fourth one in. He's like, Dave, you got to go. You got to go, brother. You're at. I'm like,
That's
dude,
funny.
I didn't know I was gonna be. I didn't know I was gonna get this far. I was just fighting my
Right.
way around people and throwing people over the rope. And then the other referees kind of took my side because I was a referee. So when I'd get thrown over the top rope, the referees would push me back in. So I got kind of, people cheated. I cheated a couple times, but I didn't touch the floor. I just went over, and then the referee would push me back in as the wrestlers were trying to push me out.
No,
Um,
that's cool.
but it was a blast. I had a lot of fun with it. Um, and yeah, that was for Gonzo, as a friend of ours with UPW that had leukemia. So we were raising money for him, and it was awesome.
Good cause.
Yeah, very good cause. A good guy too. So anyway, so what we did was we randomly chose the letter P, and no, totally totally fine, bro. We derail ourselves all the
Yeah,
time.
we do it all the time.
Do it all the time. Um, so we chose the letter P. All of our movies begin with the letter P, and we watched them. We did trailers. We have the scores. We're going to talk about them, and then we're going to see which one wins and what our points are. So, in picking 6 movies each, we're going to do top 10. So, the 2 lowest scores, no matter who has them, will be eliminated. So, we have no idea which ones are going to be taken out. But if it's 2 on your side, which is what happened with the paranormal
Yeah,
last
I
time,
stopped.
that sucked. That you were, it was a lot closer until you lost
Hmm.
but I was actually a really neat little thing that we were like, okay. And so this time we're doing it again. 2 lowest scores get eliminated, and then we go with the final 10. So, you ready to start off?
Yeah, let's go, man.
All right, we're going to start it off with Promising Young Woman.
Oh, love this
Good
flick.
movie. This is a
Oh,
great pick that you had, bro. And
yeah, I love it.
yeah, this is a real big surprise for me when I first watched it.
Me too. It was a blind buy for like $15, $16. Love this
Yeah.
slipcover to it. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get it.
I like the slipcover too. It's a nice little purple, and
Yeah, it stands out.
I do. Yeah, I do like it. It stands out. But I remember I was kind of avoiding it at first. I was back and forth about whether I wanted to get it, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger. And I was pleasantly surprised. It was a blind
Me too.
buy for me too, but I waited, and just yeah,
I
really good.
really love it. If you guys
Um,
haven't seen Promising Young Woman, do yourself a favor, rent it, buy it.
mhm,
I don't care how you watch it, just watch it.
yeah, give it a look. It's definitely worth it,
Hmm.
and it's not what you'd expect. It
No,
it, it goes a totally different way than you would think.
yeah,
And I think that's one of the things I really liked about it.
me too.
Um, so the movies from 2020, and it was actually my sleeper pick in the 2020 Lowdown Awards. Um, the I did not get a budget for it, but globally it made 18.8 million, and video sales were 1.5 million.
Hmm. I
So
figured that have a little higher
it
video sales
didn't
because
it didn't do great, but I think it did pretty good. Well, yeah, I thought it'd do it a little higher on video sales, but
the
I
word of
do
mouth
think
would really get around.
yeah, I do think that this is probably a year behind. So
Oh, that's true.
um, even though it doesn't say, I'm thinking it's a year behind.
Yeah, definitely check it out, man. And I'm gonna say too, the because we're both physical media guys, the Blu-ray looks fantastic.
It does.
The
The transfer
colors,
looks really good. Yeah.
yeah, the colors really pop on that disc.
Yeah. Absolutely. Gotta write some stuff down because our last two movies I didn't get the budget and everything down for. So while I do that, what did you like about this movie? If we're talking about the 10 aspects, what was your favorite aspect? What did you like best about this
Um,
movie?
I still have it sitting right here. I wanted did one the ending, loved the ending,
Hmm.
um, and that lady's performance.
Oh yeah, Carrie
She,
Mulligan did such a good job.
she was so good.
Yeah.
Um,
Unfortunately, she was paired with Bo Burnham, who I'm sorry to say he can't act.
no, I agree.
But I was really surprised to see him in this movie. It actually kind of was like, oh, that's weird. Um,
Her performance carries this.
yeah, she carries the whole weight of this movie on her shoulders through the entire film. I
And then
absolutely agree.
when you get closer to the end, I felt that dread. You know, I think I know you know what I'm talking about because I don't
Yeah,
want to spoil this because you don't want to spoil this movie. Um, she's at that party. I think it's a party, isn't it? Um, and what happens
yeah,
happens.
it's definitely some kind of party, like a bachelor party, or
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It was a
I think it's
bachelor.
a bachelor party.
Um, and that whole scene is like for me, it felt like it was. I felt dread. Like, oh my god, what's going to happen? Is this really happening? And that whole roller coaster of emotions
Mhm.
through that last half of the movie. I was like, oh man, I loved it.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I gotta agree with the ending. I think the ending was my favorite part as well. I really love the story behind it, and I loved
Yeah,
the script. I think yours and my favorite part because we both gave it tens, and it was the direction. So that brings us to uh, the other thing that we were going to talk about is we kind of changed the aspects. So for this particular season, as we're doing the letters, we came up with a general list of aspects that we're going to base our score on. We do have a wild card, and that's basically to for what genre it is, how good in that genre is it.
yeah.
Um, but so we've changed it. In addition to the cast, acting, plot, ending, and story as the first five, we're going script, cinematography, direction, soundtrack or score, and wild card, which means it's basically the genre out of 1 to 10. How good is it in the genre?
I like the aspect of score too and soundtrack, and I thought that was
I
a
do
great
too.
addition.
There's a lot of things where we talked about going, oh man, the soundtrack is so good here.
Mm-hmm.
And we end up like throwing it in, folding it into special effects or
Yeah,
something like that. Um, and I also like direction because
me
I was
too.
thinking, you know, this one of the things that the Oscars look for is best director,
Yeah.
and I think we should actually, kind of point that out. Hey, the director was really good here, or you know what, it doesn't go in the direction that we thought it would, but we still
Yeah.
kind of liked it. So yeah, 3. So anything that you didn't like about the movie?
Um, not really. Um, Cinematography. I mean, it's kind of basic. There was nothing innovative. The way it was shot. Um,
Yeah, I think you would. I think the um the DP, the director of photography, I think he was just trying to be creative, but I mean, there were things I liked about the cinematography, and we actually gave the cinematography a good score. Um, I think my throwback is the soundtrack. This is one where the soundtrack and score I really don't remember.
See, I didn't mind it.
There
Um,
was some, yeah, I didn't mind
I
it,
don't
but
know
it
the
didn't.
songs, but
I'm like, the songs were like, and then
I
um,
thought the mood of the songs fit the movie.
yeah,
I mean, that's why I gave it a little higher score for
yeah,
me.
but it didn't. Yeah, it didn't really stand out for me. So, um, but not too bad. So let's go to our scores. So our merge score with cast is 7.5, which means, so I think you had
I had a
you had a
7.
7, you had a 7, I had an 8,
Yeah.
because I know just a little bit more actors in that
Yeah.
movie, but not too bad. We also were at a 7.5 on the acting.
Because I had a 9 for an
You had
acting.
a 9. You had a
Yeah.
9, and um I think I had a 6 on the
Oh,
acting,
really?
because I really knocked it down for Bo Burnham and the other
Right.
guys that were
I
in it.
get that.
Carey Mulligan was the only um, shining star in this movie, as
I think
far as
that's why I
acting
gave it
goes.
a high score because I mean, if she wasn't a good actress, she carried that on her shoulders. This
Oh,
movie would, yeah.
she absolutely did. This movie would have totally sucked if we'd
Uh-huh.
gone. Um, and I've been neglecting the chat. I apologize,
Yeah.
Dell. Excellent movie. Yeah, arguably Mulligan's best performance. Absolutely, I wouldn't even argue that. I absolutely
Yeah.
believe
To
it's her
be
best
honest,
performance.
I have never seen her in anything else.
I know
This
I've
was
seen her in other things, but I can't remember them.
this is where I first not recognized but was exposed to her,
Hmm.
and fuck was she amazing.
Yeah. And then Mike says movie soundtrack score is so important to the feel of the movie. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
100% agree.
Totally agree, bro. And that's kind of why we put it in here. And
Hmm.
um I think this is going to be a good round thing.
Me
So
too.
for plot, so what did you give the plot?
I gave it a 9.
Okay. I gave it a 7, and basically what we do for the plot is we watch the trailer,
Hmm.
and then based on the trailer and the trailer alone, we go, okay, how likely are we going to be to get this movie or to watch it? And my reason for going 7 is because I didn't blind buy it right off the bat. I waited. I procrastinated because I wasn't sure I wanted it, and then I pulled the trigger later. And then watching the trailer, I realized why. The trailer was kind of flat for me, and I was really hoping for something else to kind of hook me, and it didn't. It didn't quite get there, but eventually I got it, and I was absolutely pleasantly surprised. So now for ending, we're at a 9.5.
Oh man, I gave it a 10 when
You gave it a 10. I gave it a 9. I still think the ending was excellent.
me too.
Um, just not quite perfect, but I loved how it ended.
Me too.
Um,
Because you're
you
like,
don't
oh shit.
you don't get your typical Hollywood ending here,
Mm-mm.
and I think it's amazing that way. And then for story, where did you have for the story? I
9.
think you had a 9. I had a 9 as well. So we're both at a 9, and I think the story is amazing,
Me too.
which brings to the script. And what did you have for the script?
9. I had a 9 too there too.
Yeah, and I had an 8 for the script, and again, that's because I dropped a little bit for the acting because of
Right.
the other cast members. Um, So 8.5 is where we were at there. For cinematography, what did you have?
I had a 6 because it was nothing.
Did I not do that right? Because I'm now looking at my.
I have cinematography for a 6. Um,
Hold on, let me.
to me, it was just I
Because
want to say
I was wondering about the acting and the cinematography because the scores look really different. Did I
for
not?
me the cinematography was just a normal, like any other. How would you label this? What'd you label this as? Thriller.
I labeled this as a thriller.
Um, yeah, there was nothing special about the way it looked. The Yeah, the way it shot. It was just your average for me.
Because there's no way, even if I gave the cinematography a 10, there's no way we would average out to a 9. So
Is
maybe I
that
have that switched.
I gave acting a 9. Is that what you're confused about?
That's what I'm confused about. Because okay, and I think that's why I switched the acting and the cinematography. So you have a 6 and I have a 9 for cinematography, which comes out to a 7.5, but we both have 9 for acting. That's
Okay.
what it was. I just wrote it down wrong. So that's my bad. But it's still the same score. It's just I flipped. They're one's on top of the other, so I just flipped it. I'll get the hang of it. It's our first time doing this one, doing it
It's
this way.
okay.
Um, okay, so for direction, you gave it a 10.
Yes.
I gave it an 8.
No, wait.
So
Direction. I gave it an 8. I'm sorry.
oh, wait,
I
what
have
am I
an
looking
8
at?
for direction.
Oh, I'm looking at Parasite. My bad. Yeah, direction, you gave it an 8. I gave it a 10 because for some reason I really liked what the director did. Um, so that averages out to a 9. For soundtrack,
I
you
gave it
were
an.
you gave it an 8, and I did not like the music in it, so I actually gave it a 4.
Oh wow.
Um, so we average out to 6, and then for wild card, which is how is it as a thriller, and you gave it an 8.
Yep.
I gave it a 9. I actually thought it was a really good thriller. I found it
Oh, so did I.
suspenseful. I found it nice and gripping, almost perfect. I really liked it. Um, so I'm wondering, do you want to talk about the total score right now, or do you want to wait till the end like we
Let's wait
used
to
to
the end.
before?
Like,
Okay,
let's just wait
so
to the
wait
end.
till the end. Because it's got a good score. It was
I
it
like
was
the surprise at the end.
yeah, good surprise at the end. Yeah, I dug it, and I think that's um one of the reasons why the ending gets a really good score. The wild card for me gets a good score, and the story gets a good score because they surprised me, and that's kind of hard to do considering the thousands of movies that we see. And I mean thousands because you're almost at 1,000 for this year.
What?
Um, you're almost at 1,000 movies for this year, right? That
No,
you've that you've watched.
I'm,
I think you'll be at 500 before the end of the year. I know you
I'm
will.
I'm at 470,
Yeah.
70 or 71, something like that.
Oh yeah. You'll be at 471 before the end of November. You'll be at 500 before the end of November.
Probably.
I probably.
This is the most I've ever watched. I mean, it's because of the show too.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, the show, and
I
I keep giving you stuff
I
that you.
basically give up watching TV shows.
Yeah.
I just pulled them out of my rotation. Like I still watch. Here we go, getting derailed again. I
Yeah.
watch Walking Dead. I love Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
White Lotus,
I recorded it, but I haven't seen it yet.
and then Teen
Um,
Titans. That's starting, or Titans, whatever it's called now. That's
I like
starting.
Titans. I have the first 2 seasons of that. And I'm gonna buy season 3. Um,
Yeah, but I
hopefully
give it
on
up
the Black
basically.
Friday sale at Walmart if they have it.
Yeah, but yeah, I give it up. Basically, I focus all my watching is um, movies.
Nice. Okay, let's go to movie number 2. Movie number 2 is Pandorum.
This. was a surprise for me. I have never
Yeah.
seen it. I seen the poster like scrolling through Voodoo or
I
something.
I I like this movie. It
I
was
surprisingly enjoyed this movie. I was like, I didn't think I was gonna like it at all. Um, I can see the director. I think it was a director. You could tell he did a Resident Evil movie, or the writer. You could see the
mhm.
uh, similarities in the way it was shot, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But this is,
No, yeah.
dude. I actually bought this on Voodoo. Um,
Good.
I was like, I need this. I have to have this.
Good. I'm glad. I mean, I when I this was a blind buy for me when it first came out, and this came out in 2009. The budget on it was $40 million. It only made 17 million in the box office and 8.7 million in video sales. So it really tanked.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't. It's not the fault of the movie. I think it wasn't really properly advertised. They were
Yeah,
doing this.
I
But
never heard
yeah,
of it.
I was interested because of the main actors. You got
Dennis
Dennis
Quaid.
Quaid, Ben Foster, really good pairing right there.
Hmm.
And man, I am a huge fan of Ben Foster. I will almost buy everything
Hmm.
that he's in because he is such a great actor. So which brings us to the acting. We both gave it a 7,
Yeah,
and I think that that is a but basically we all know. And did I say acting or cast? Because it's
cast.
cast.
You said
Yeah.
cast.
Okay.
You
Good. I
said
wanted to make sure. Did I just say acting? I
you
don't think
said
I
you
said.
said.
I I did. Okay. Good.
Definitely check it out
Uh,
though.
growing pains in the new format. Yes, growing pains in the new format. We're gonna get there. It's gonna get better. I just gotta make sure I write my stuff down right. And then if you haven't seen Pandorum, it's I think it's worth checking out. I think you
Yeah.
might enjoy it. So for acting, you gave it a 7,
Yep.
um, and I gave it a 9 because I really liked Ben Foster in this. I thought Dennis Quaid did a great job. The other actors were good. After that, they were all kind of glorified extras.
Right.
But yeah, I dug it. So we average out to an 8. Um, and I want to like turn the clock back because again, this is a new format. What what was your biggest takeaway from here? What did you like?
I I loved the way it was shot, the cinematography. Even though I'm looking at my cinematography and I think I gave you the wrong number, um, but that's okay. Um, can I give you my new number because I wrote it down wrong on here?
Okay.
Um,
Um, that may change. That may well, it's probably change our ranking, but
oh shit. Um,
um,
sorry.
but what's your new score for the
It was
cinematography?
supposed to be an 8, and I typed 6. It's supposed
Okay.
to be an 8 because that was one of my favorite things. Um, I like the ending. I don't want to spoil it because this is a
Mm.
movie you need to check out.
You've got to go to the ending. You've got to see
Yeah.
the ending. Um, yeah,
Yeah, the ending.
this is gonna change the order. This is gonna change the order. But
Oh,
um, I that's interesting.
I'm sorry. I
That's okay.
apologize.
That's okay.
I just because I'm looking.
New format. I mean, it's um, we'll you know
Oh man, I am so sorry.
we just we'll have to we'll work the kinks out and get used to it. It's totally cool. Um,
And another thing, I know we're not there yet, but the trailer hooked me in.
oh, good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, me, I liked the trailer, but I didn't love it. I think I I loved the story and I love the ending here because
Hmm.
again, the ending is a big surprise,
Yeah.
and the I like how the story plays out because
Oh yeah.
of how they are in the beginning, and I think we can go ahead and say that. But because basically they wake up from cryostasis and they have no memory.
I want to talk
So
about this movie.
yeah, so they have no memory when they come out of cryostasis. So they've got to figure out who they are, what they're supposed to do, and then what everything's going on. Because they're in space. And as the story plays out, as you're learning about who they are, they're learning about who they are, and I
And that's
love how
great.
that plays.
Yeah,
I love how that plays out.
yeah. I really dug that.
Work out those kinks, y'all. Thanks, bro. Um, but yeah, we're just kind of figuring out how we're gonna, how we write all this stuff down and get it done. So bringing us to the
And the
acting.
special effects too were great in it.
Yeah.
I thought the I'll say the bad guys
Hmm.
looked pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I dug it.
me too.
And then also once you learn how the bad guys come about and then how
Hmm.
that is all created, I was like, dude, so awesome, and all of
Yeah,
that just culminates in the end. So you get that ending and you're like, holy crap! It was one of
yeah,
those oh shit moments where I was
yeah,
floored, and then everything kind of made sense at
yeah.
the end, and I really dug this movie, and I'm glad you got a chance to watch it.
I'm glad I liked it too.
Okay, so talking about the plot, because we did the acting. You gave it a 7, I gave it a 9, so we're at an 8. For the plot, you gave it an 8,
Hmm.
and I gave the plot a 6, so we average out to a 7. I thought the trailer that I watched was too short. I didn't get enough out of it. So I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
you
watched it
got
on Voodoo.
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
You watched the trailer on Voodoo? Yeah, I got the 30-second short,
Oh,
the
on
teaser
IMDb.
trailer on IMDb, because I own the Blu-ray, so I just watched the Blu-ray.
Right.
Um, but so that's probably why we differ there. Because I wasn't too pleased with the trailer that I saw on IMDb.
Yeah.
So for ending, um, you're at an 8,
Hmm.
and I'm at a 10 because I absolutely love the ending.
I liked the ending a lot too.
Um, so we average out to a 9, and then for story, you're at an 8 also,
Hmm.
and I was also at a 10 for the story. So we average out to a 9. Getting to the script, um, you have a 7 and I did 8, so we average out to 7.5. Cinematography, um, you had a 6
Yeah, it was supposed to be an 8.
and I had an 8, so now we're both at an 8. And like I said, that changes the score. Um, for direction, we're both at a 7 because I like the direction. There were a
Hmm.
couple of hokey bits
Yeah.
with the direction where I was like, okay, I don't see why they did that, but
Hmm.
still really good. Soundtrack, you gave it a 5 for the score, and I gave it a 7. I liked some of the intensity of the music a little bit better, and then we both gave it, for its genre, which is sci-fi, we both gave it a 9. So
Yeah.
all in all, pretty decent score.
I would apologize about that too, man. Because I knew
That's
right
okay.
away I didn't
I
look.
messed up Promising Young Woman, so
We're even
we're
1-1.
we're square. So we're even. Um, but I am gonna have to change the. I think I'm gonna have to change the outro video, but I'll uh
Yeah.
I'll figure that out. And
Dell, I
it might
agree.
mean that I'll just, yeah.
I agree, Dell. That's why when there's like a new big
I
movie,
agree with that too, but I don't want a 30-second teaser trailer.
right?
Give me a minute and a half,
Yeah, that's perfect. A minute and a half.
and
If
that's
you
great.
can't
I
sell
don't
me on
want,
your movie in a minute and a half, there's something wrong.
yeah. Then there's no reason for me to get
Hmm.
it. But yeah, I don't want a 30-second teaser trailer because I'll be like, oh, okay, as long if I knew what it was about, sure. Um, like if
Yeah.
I get a 30-second teaser trailer for the Star Trek reboot in 2009. I was okay with that because I knew
Yep.
I knew what was coming. I was like, oh, Star Trek. But this one, I had no idea what it was about, so I don't want a 30-second trailer. But
Right.
again, totally agree with Dell. I don't want a 3-minute trailer giving me the whole entire movie,
Like Marvel does. Every
except for Amityville Horror, which I wish I'd have just watched the trailer instead of watch the movie
they gave you
again.
the whole movie.
Instead of instead of watching the whole movie again, because that trailer gave everything.
It did.
You got the entire movie, all the good parts, all in one shot. And I'm like, the trailer was so much better. Um, but again, just my opinion. All movies are subjective. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
agree.
okay. So moving on to direction. Direction, we both gave it a 7. And I'm repeating this.
Hmm.
Soundtrack, you had a 5, I had a 7. So we average out to 6. Wild card 9. So we got a pretty good score there. And yeah, I've got to change the outro. So when I'm ready to compile that, I might freeze up a little bit. So
That's right. I'll keep on talking.
I'll let you know when that's going. You can keep talking. All right, so let's move
Yeah,
on to the third movie. I think we're doing good so far. How do you feel?
I'll feel pretty good, man. I
Okay.
really am.
All right, so let's go to Prisoners. This is a great movie, bro. I'm
It
glad you
is.
picked it. I wanted it.
I'm sorry.
You had two that you picked. I'm like, oh, I wanted those two. um, so that's why I kind of changed the format a little bit
And I'm
to,
glad you did that too.
and I think that works out to where we're like pick one
Yeah.
each time. It's a little bit different when we're like picking a genre because it's blanket. You can pick anything,
Hmm.
and we didn't really cross over on those
No.
with a couple of minor exceptions, which is why we had the alternates so that we could pick. But when we're going by just a letter, that kind of
Yeah.
narrows the field a little bit. But Prisoners is from 2013. It had a budget of 46 million, made 113.3 million in the box office and 18.3 million in video sales.
That's good.
So good stuff. Made its money.
Such a good movie.
It's a great movie. It is such a good movie. I have this as a thriller also. And this was kind of my first exposure to Paul Dano.
Me too. Me too.
So, and it was this movie. As soon when I knew that he was going to be Riddler in the Batman, I was like, oh yeah, he could do that
Yeah.
because I loved his character here, and this is what I wanted
We're exactly on the same
for
page.
his Riddler character, and he was exactly the same.
Hmm.
Really creepy
Yeah.
with the boyish face, and yeah, I liked it a lot. Um, and I do take that back. I do remember him from another movie. He was in Night and Day with Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz.
That's the one Tom Cruise movie. You know, I'm a big Tom Cruise guy. That's my least favorite Tom Cruise movie. So I pretend you
That's
don't.
I don't pretend. I pretend. Oh, I like that movie. I
Yeah.
wouldn't call it one of my favorites of Tom Cruise, but
Adele, 10 for acting, or you're lying. Actually, Adele, I gave it a 4. No, I'm kidding. I didn't
right.
give it a 4.
Love Prisoners, 10 for acting, or you're lying. Well, that's interesting. Um, hmm. You might be surprised. just just gonna say you might be surprised. I think it's really good, but
Paul Dano, I agree,
so
Mike. Paul Dano
so
was fucking awesome.
Paul Dano was great. And this is where I was like, "Oh, dude." And when I knew he was going to be Riddler, I was like, "Man, this is going to be good."
Yeah,
I really liked it. And I was not disappointed. He
me
really
neither.
did that. Okay, so what's your best takeaway from this? What's your favorite part?
I want to say the acting. Like Dell said, the heartache and pain that Hugh Jackman is going through. We're both parents, so
Yeah.
we you can put yourself in those shoes,
Hmm.
and we don't want to put ourselves in those shoes. Let me put it that way. Um, just
Yeah,
again, the sense of
I would
dread,
hate to be in
heartache.
that situation. Just the
Um,
yeah.
that's the thing. The desperation
Hmm.
that Hugh Jackman goes through. Uh,
Absolutely.
that's the takeaway, and that's my favorite part of this
There's the
movie.
train.
Yeah, it's probably even louder because the window's open.
Yeah, it was pretty loud. And so's your cat.
Yeah, damn cat, damn
Damn cat.
heat,
Oh, hate it
trying
when
to
that
show me her
happens.
vagina.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Meow. Okay, go away. Ah, stop looking at me like that.
Yeah, that's my favorite part. Hugh Jackman's acting in this is just. If I could give this a 20, I would.
Mm,
Jake
nice.
Gyllenhaal, Paul Dano are great in this, but Hugh Jackman
Yeah, it was
is just fantastic.
oddly enough for me, it was Terrence Howard that was the low point as far as the acting goes,
Yeah,
and I
I
really
agree.
didn't expect that. It really seemed like he phoned it in.
Yeah,
Uh,
but that's him though. I think
yeah,
that's just his style. Um,
yeah. We're gonna be rich after dark in a minute.
I think
Uh,
he's very overrated.
I
I think,
I I agree with that. I think he's very overrated, and
and when they recast him in Iron Man 2,
I was just gonna say that I had
is
no problem with
perfect.
that,
Yeah,
and I
Don
was like,
Cheadle.
really, Don Cheadle? Don Cheadle's great.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen the movie Traitor, starring Don
Hmm.
Cheadle, great movie.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I'm like, oh yeah, he could play the heck out of Rhodey. He could. Um, all right, so for and I agree. I think the acting was good. I think my best take of this is probably that this is a really good thriller.
Yeah.
Um, crazy. Can't take on that. Hot take, okay, maybe I don't know, but no, I think Terrence Howard's overrated.
I
I
do
think he's
too.
good, but I don't think he's
There's
as
100
good.
other actors I can think that are
Yeah,
better than him that could
yeah,
have did a better job in that same role.
yeah. I agree with that. Um, but anyway, so for cast, we're both at a 10.
Yeah.
This has just a stellar cast across the board. Um, for acting, because of Terrence Howard, for me, I'm not at a 10. So I was actually at a 9,
See, I gave it a 10
and
because
it absolutely deserves a 10.
um,
Um,
Jackman, Gyllenhaal,
Jackman, I didn't think Gyllenhaal
and
was
Dano.
great, but I thought he was good. But um, Gyllenhaal he's better here than he is in some of his other movies, but it's not his best. And I think Hugh Jackman was great, Paul Dano was great, and then Jake Gyllenhaal was good, Terrence Howard was meh, and then everybody else.
Also, you have to consider the wife of Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
she
yeah.
was fantastic too. I forget her
Again,
name.
she's great,
Yeah,
and I'm forgetting her name too.
yeah,
But it was one of the actors that I absolutely recognized. Um,
because she was. You
and
felt
then
her pain and desperation and
yeah,
anger.
yeah. I think that's Maria Bello. And then Viola Davis is in it. She's
Hmm.
great. But there
She's a.
wasn't enough. There wasn't enough of Viola Davis to Terrence Howard completely overshadowed her. And I think it would have been better if it was her, but it had to be the two dads
Yeah.
in their desperation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I didn't think Gyllenhaal was bad. I just didn't think he was great.
I'm a big Gyllenhaal fan, so
Yeah.
I enjoyed his performance. I
Yeah.
mean, was he on par with Jackman?
No.
Dano, no,
No.
but I think he did a
But
good job.
he was on par or a little bit better than he usually is. But, you know, there were others that wasn't. When The person that played Paul Dano's mother, I didn't really like her in the movie.
Yeah.
There's a few other ones, but anyway, just I didn't give it a perfect score. That's just the way I felt when I watched it. But great movie. Um, okay, so for plot,
I didn't like the trailer for it.
you gave it. That's interesting. You gave it a 6.
I'll give it 7.
You gave it a 7. Where am I at?
Hmm.
Oh, I'm looking at something else. Yes, you gave it a 7. I gave it an 8. I was like, we're at a 7.5. So how do we do that? You gave it a 7. I gave it an
Hmm.
8. So we're at a 7.5. I like the trailer. Um, is this one? Did you get this from IMDb or where did you watch this
Yeah,
trailer at? Okay.
IMDb.
Okay. So we probably watched the same trailer. We are both at an. Well, I'm sorry. You're at a 8 for the ending, and I'm at a 10 for the ending. I loved this ending.
I liked it, but I didn't like how that little dangling point. I was like, oh,
Okay. Yeah, I
you
get
know. I
it.
don't want to spoil it if people haven't seen it.
Yeah. No, this is one. It's
You
9
you
years
can't
old.
spoil it.
So if you guys haven't seen it, this is a watch. You guys
Yeah.
absolutely should watch this.
That you know what I'm talking about. People that seen it know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That just give me that little extra.
Hmm.
Just give me 2 minutes extra on that movie. You
Yeah,
know,
I get it.
so
I
that's
get
why
it.
I gave it an 8.
I get it. All right. And also for story, we're both at a 9,
Hmm.
which makes total sense. We're both at an 8 for the script. Cinematography, you're at a 6. I was at an 8.
See, this is another one to me. It I want to use. I don't want to use the word generic, but it kind of was generic looking. There
Mm,
was nothing wowed me, if that makes sense.
okay.
Nothing new that I haven't seen
Okay.
before.
Okay. That's cool. Um, for direction, you're at an 8, and I was at a 10. I really like the direction that the
The reason I
and
gave it an 8 was
mhm,
because of just that ending.
that ending. You wanted a
Yeah,
little bit more, and
you
that's
know they
and that's
shot
kind
it.
of yeah, yeah. I get it. Um, for the soundtrack and score, we're both at a 6. I didn't think it was anything to write home about. And then for a wild card as a thriller, we both gave it a 10. So because I think as a thriller,
That was,
I mean,
yeah,
probably top 10
I
for
agree.
me, favorite thrillers. I
I
mean, I
agree.
put it I put it right up there with Bone Collector
7.
and Seven and Spy Game and uh,
7 is the gold standard for me.
yes, absolutely. That's my number one.
Yeah,
And it's really my 1 through 3. It's Seven, Spy Game, Bone Collector. That's
yeah,
my top 3. Um, and I think it holds up to something along those lines because
yeah. I
it's got
agree.
some really good suspense, great nail biting scenes,
And this movie's
and
time.
a good twist. I got to have a good twist in a thriller, and there was a really good twist.
No matter if you watch this movie 20 years from now, this movie will still hold up because it's still parents
Yeah,
every fear. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. All right, good movie. We gave it a really good score. Um, and oh, speaking of which, so on the community tab, I put a poll. Um,
I did see that. And I shared it.
And I was a little disappointed that I can only pick 4 movies because I really wanted to do like our whole group or like
You know that's not stupid. I was trying to
uh,
figure out how to scroll down. I was like, oh wait a minute, there's only 4 here
there
or
was only
whatever. I mean,
I was only allowed to put 4 options, so I was like,
yeah.
oh crap. Um, so I said, which movie get the high score, and these were all your picks: Parasite, The Prestige, Pretty in Pink, or Prisoners, and the top score was Parasite
I,
with
but we'll
57% of the
get to that.
votes. We'll get to
How
that.
many?
57%.
Nice. I liked that. Good job on doing that.
Thanks. I just finally got my community tab, and I don't know if it just got added or
Yeah.
I finally got enough subs to where it started me
Because
one.
mine's there
So
too. And I was like, hmm.
So I'm going to start putting polls and stuff
That's a
like
good
that on
idea.
there to kind of lead us into the next week. But I think I'm going to do like 1-to-1, which is which is your favorite, or the four choices. I'll just do like two of mine and two of yours because
That'd be a better idea.
I was trying to do
Four
all of
choices.
them, and I ended up doing yours first, and then I ran out of room, and I was like, oh crap, and I just went for it. But anyway, again,
Yeah,
new new season, new format, doing the stuff. Let's
yeah.
go to the next movie, and that is Philadelphia.
Oh man, I fell in love with this movie because
It's
I
it's
thought I'd
so
seen it,
good.
but I hadn't. Um, this movie, in my opinion, probably Tom Hanks' best performance.
Acting
Yeah,
wise, absolutely, I
yeah,
absolutely agree with that.
yes. Everybody talks about Forrest Gump. Um,
Oh, and
Saving
and
Private
I
Ryan.
and I love Forrest Gump, and I love Saving Private Ryan,
This is his performance
but
here.
this it's so
Yeah,
um
I'm so glad
he,
you picked
he
this.
oh, me too. And it's I remember when we were talking about it because I pulled it off of another list, and you were like, "Oh, are you going to put it in the P's?" And I'm like, probably I think I'm going to put it in the P's because it's really good, and I love courtroom dramas.
Yeah,
So this was a really good, and I think the acting between with Tom Hanks and Denzel, really good. It's my
yeah.
favorite. I love courtroom dramas in general, but I think the two of them together,
The
great.
chemistry
Yeah,
was really good with them,
so good.
and the character growth with Denzel
Yeah,
um, was fantastic.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Mike gives tens all around. I,
Did we though?
I no, we didn't. we, we we didn't. Um, but we're a little bit more critical because we're doing each aspect, and trying to judge that solely on that thing. Um, but it did get some really good scores.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, what would be your favorite part of this
I,
movie? Speaking of which,
I'm gonna go. I got three things:
okay.
acting, like I just said a second ago. Tom
Hmm.
Hanks, dude. I ain't gonna lie, I was in tears, man. This
Mm.
movie brought me to tears. Um,
Oh yeah, it's sad. It's like you're like, man, I'm angry.
yeah,
I'm sad. I feel pity. Um,
the ending. I liked the ending.
yeah,
Um, and then this movie, I think out of all the movies, this is the best for me. The soundtrack and score. The
good.
opening, I think it's Billy Joel. I'm not 100% sure. Um,
Wow, I'm trying to
music
remember.
hits, and
Hmm.
you know you're gonna be in for an emotional roller coaster
Hmm.
with Tom Hanks.
That's interesting. Dell's hot take. Hanks wasn't that good in this movie. He had one
What?
great scene, but otherwise sat in a chair with his sick makeup on. Denzel carried this movie.
Denzel's fantastic.
Denzel's fantastic. I agree to a point. I mean, once he was at that point to where he was too sick to really do anything, then Denzel had to carry it.
yes, I
But
agree.
I think Tom was really good in the
Yeah,
beginning,
yeah,
up to when Denzel kind of had to take over,
yeah.
and um and then we'll get to the rest of it as we go. So this
It-
movie's from 1993. It had a budget of 26 million. It made 201 million in the
wow.
box office. 201.3. I did not have a video sales, but um, gosh, I really like this movie. Now, getting to our aspects for cast, you gave it a 6, I gave it a 7, which I knew a
Hmm.
little bit more. That's basically just recognition for those of you that aren't aware. Acting, you
I
gave it a
give it 10.
10. I gave it an 8, and I am still trying to understand why I did that.
Me too.
So, but I'm not changing my score because I gave it an 8 for some reason.
Yeah,
But and I think it's because Tom Hanks, Denzel, great. Everyone else I
I thought
whitewashed.
Banderas did a good job too.
But he didn't have much of a role.
No, what he was given, I
Yeah. But what
I felt
he
his love for Tom
I
Hanks.
think he absolutely loved Tom Hanks's character in the movie.
Hmm.
I felt that affection.
Hmm.
And I liked him. I absolutely liked him in the movie, but he did not have a big enough part for me. I
No,
think he should
I
have
agree.
been more prominent.
He was big
But
time at the time, right? Because he did Desperado.
yeah,
Before
this
that.
is 93, so I think this is before Desperado, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh shit, maybe not.
Now I got to look because um I got to check. 95 is Desperado. So yeah, it was before Desperado. Um and then 94 was Interview with the Vampire,
Oh, I forgot he was in it.
which, him as Armand in Interview with the Vampire was really good.
Hmm.
Um so yeah, this was kind of like post Madonna cuz he started in the Madonna music video and he didn't speak a lick of English.
What music video was that?
Um
I am
God,
not a Madonna fan.
I can't remember, but I know that Madonna brought him in. Um, I don't know. I don't remember if they dated each other or what the deal was, but I know she grabbed him and brought him into his music video. Like I think it was, or maybe the movie "Who's That Girl," or it was like, but it was like that was his first thing
Oh, okay.
was with Madonna, and then and then he learned English and started doing his own stuff. But I think he's a very underrated actor.
I agree.
Yeah.
Dell agrees.
Yeah. He needed a bigger role. I think if he'd had a bigger role, I think my acting would have been a 10. I think I would have given
Yeah.
it a 10 on the acting. So for the plot,
I didn't like the trailer too much. I give it.
you gave it an 8. I gave it a 9. I liked the trailer.
It
I
left me
didn't
wanting more, a little bit more.
Yeah. No, I can see that. But it wasn't too much. I didn't get too much. Now um we both gave the ending a 10.
Yeah.
And it absolutely deserves a 10. It's beautiful and it's sad
Hmm.
and tear jerking the whole ending, but it it was great. It was the ending that it needed to be.
Yeah.
And then for story, you gave it an uh
A 10.
you gave it a 10 and I went 8 for story. Um so we average out to a 9. For script, we're both at 9. See, that's interesting. Did I do that for cinematography too? That can't be right.
I give it a 6 for cinematography.
You gave it a 6, and I have a 9 written down. But I don't see how I would have crossed it with anything.
I mean, to me, again, typical, looked like a typical 90s movie.
It
Uh,
it looked, the way they did the courtroom stuff. I agree with that. So,
um,
but I'm not changing the score. But for some reason, I have it listed as a 9 for cinematography.
but
New
that's okay, though.
show. We'll figure it out. We'll get it. You have direction down as a 10. No, not a 10.
No,
I'm
8.
sorry. I'm Yeah, you have it down as an 8. I have a 10. So we average out to a 9 that's what it was.
What?
Cinematography versus soundtrack. That's where I switched it.
Oh.
Um, so we both have cinematography as a 6. Soundtrack, you're at a 10. I'm at an 8.
Hmm. I thought the music was
So,
beautiful in this. I think
so I think the
it hit,
music was. I think the music was great.
it hit all the emotional beats when it needed to
Yeah,
inside the film.
yeah. I agree with that. Um, I don't know. I wanted more recognizable music or something, but the instrumentals and the heartfelt
I'm pretty
musical
sure it's
score, I thought it was.
Billy Joel or
I
Bruce
think
Springsteen. One of the two.
there was Billy Joel or something in the beginning, and
Yeah, and that just
Yeah.
I knew I was going to be in for something.
And
And I don't like
then,
Billy Joel at all,
yeah.
but that song at the beginning of that movie,
Yeah.
yeah, they did a good job putting that in there.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And then, of course, for the wild card as a drama, we both gave it a 10, which it absolutely deserves.
I gave it a 9.
You did give it a 9. I'm sorry. I gave it a 9. I gave it a 10. So we're at 9.5.
Yeah.
I'll figure this out, I promise.
It's okay, man.
At some point.
But you're looking at a lot more numbers than I am, so.
Yeah, I could have sworn I wrote this down right, but I mean, when we were doing it more like on the spot, then I'm writing it down as we're talking. But here I'm just, I'm
Right.
taking the stuff that we did and trying to put it together and do the math on 12 movies. So, anyway, not a big deal, but good stuff. Great movie. Loved it.
Me
I'm
too.
glad I picked it. I'm glad
Me
you
too.
liked
And I
it.
cannot believe I didn't see this movie
Yeah.
until now. What, 30 some years later? Almost
Yeah.
30 years later. Is that right? 30 years? 93?
Almost 29.
29, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm old.
Dude. I'm 7 years older than you, bro. Come on. we gotta us old people gotta stick together. All right. So what else we got here? So cinematography and casting, I guess, are the two. I could see those getting lower than a 10.
Yeah, that's
It
what happened
really
too.
is Denzel Hanks, and that's it. Yeah. And Antonio Banderas, but he has such a small part.
Yeah.
I could only give that 1 point.
Yeah.
Because yeah, when we talk about the cast, we're only talking about recognition.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I saw the movie as a kid and it destroyed me, right?
Shit,
I
I
mean,
saw it at 45 fucking years old and it destroyed me.
I was 23, so but you know,
The
that
fact that this,
AIDS was like huge back then,
yeah,
and it was just a major thing, like what they did for COVID. But I mean,
yeah,
I'm sorry, COVID's like shooting a bullet and throwing it compared to
yeah.
what what AIDS was or is still.
And going back to the acting,
Mhm.
um, the old men, they did a fantastic job of being fucking assholes. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that stuck out too.
yeah. They reminded me of the two judges in the Muppet Show.
They did.
Right? No.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
40. Shut up, child. No.
I wish I was 40.
No, he's my bro, man. We worked together with UPW and it was a blast
That's fucking
working
awesome.
with him. I mean, he and I kind of came in around the same time and we were always wrestling training against each other and just meow.
Awesome.
Um
Shut your legs.
yeah.
Or put your tail down.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into the next movie. Moving along, we're going to go with Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
All right,
Pretty
good
in
pick.
pink.
Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
Meow. Okay, so 1986. I did not get a budget on it, but I'm sure they paid them in gum
Yeah.
um, or meat, as my daughter said. But it grossed 40.4 million in the box office and 9 million in sales. So I'm sorry, I think that's budget. $9 million budget because I went back and found it. $9 million budget, 40.4 million in gross box office sales.
But 86, that's a lot of money.
That's pretty good.
Uh,
That's pretty good, darn good. All right. So, what did you like best about this movie? What was your takeaway?
Looking at my thing here. The soundtrack. I like the soundtrack.
Soundtrack's good, bro. I think that's one thing that John Hughes always does really well.
Yeah.
Is
I like
throws out a good soundtrack and
I remember being in love with Molly Ringwald when I saw this, the original, first time I seen it.
yeah.
Um, This movie just didn't hold up for me. I remember liking it when I was younger, and I hadn't seen it
Yeah,
since I was
I
younger.
had I had the same problem,
Hmm.
and I'm sorry, bro. We're gonna be kind, but unfortunately, this yeah, it's like $17 billion today.
That's Avengers End money. End
Yeah,
game.
yeah, that's Bitcoin right there. That's some, um, but
Yeah.
yeah,
This isn't one
it
thing.
doesn't hold. It's still good, but it doesn't hold the
No.
weight that it did. Um,
See, I had this feeling when, a while back with the last Starfighter. I bought that Arrow um, release. Loved that movie as a kid. Oh boy, does it suck
I
now.
know you were like, "Oof, can I change that movie?"
Yeah.
When we were gonna do it, I was like,
Mm.
"All right." I said, "Really?" Because I was like, I was all getting ready to watch it myself, and I'm like, "Okay." And then
Oh
I watched it, and I was like, "Ooh, oof, yeah, you're right.
yeah.
That's a tough one." Oddly
And
enough, though, because I thought the same thing was gonna happen with Explorers, and that's where the young Ethan Hawke and River Phoenix.
hmm
Um, but that still holds up. That was pretty good. I got the shout select of
yeah.
that, and it was good. I enjoyed it.
But man, Pretty in Pink. I just remember loving it when I was younger, and it just I don't know if just my taste changed. Or I wasn't picky back then with acting.
Hmm.
Because I just can't put my finger on it why I just didn't enjoy it as much as I used to.
Hmm.
But I'm glad I rewatched it. I finally got to watch my Paramount Presents
Yeah, that's good.
because I own the Paramount Presents and the Steelbook. Fuck, I own it twice.
Come on, get in there. Turn. There it is. All right. So yeah, I think I'm kind of the thing with me was I think my favorite thing was the cast because it was all those Rat Pack kids. Because you got Molly Ringwald being Molly Ringwald, you got Andrew
Hmm.
McCarthy, you got John Cryer as Ducky. I really like his character.
Yeah, I take that
Uh,
back. I do
and,
like it.
and I did,
You feel for him.
yeah. You feel for him in the
Yeah.
movie, um, and because I could relate to his
Hmm.
character
Me too.
from because I did not peak in high school, so um, it's just so yeah. I felt his pain
Yeah,
and what he was going through, just kind of pining over her, and she was
yeah.
just oblivious to it, and um, so yeah. But coming back to it, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, because I was 16 when this came out, so it was like the perfect age for me.
I think I saw it when I was in high school.
Yeah. But yeah, kind of the same thing because it's the high school age and it's kind of the
Yeah,
same. Um,
because
I
high
don't know.
school's fine
So
no matter what era, you know, whether it's the
yeah,
70s, 80s, 90s today. Well, I don't know about today. Some of these fucking
yeah.
kids today. Um, but for the most
Oh,
part,
there's some
high school's
crazy.
fine.
Yeah, yeah. Um, don't tell me that about Last Starfighter. I haven't seen it since my teen years, but I own it on Blu-ray. Sorry, bro.
I'm
I'm so
sorry.
sorry.
Hey, if
But
you got that
it,
Arrow release, that slipcover is fire. I
yeah,
love that slipcover.
yeah, that's nice. Sensibilities change, and these
Mhm.
movies are still good in a vacuum.
Yeah, Breakfast Club. We were just talking about earlier off there.
So,
Breakfast
yeah.
Club, Ferris Bueller's Day
Bryce
Off.
and Ferris Bueller, yeah, they're John Hughes movies where I'm like,
Hmm.
I can still watch
Yeah,
over and over to this
Weird
day.
Science even holds up still.
Weird Science holds up well because we were talking about that as one of
Yeah.
our favorites, one of our favorite comedies, and um, that's interesting. I just, coming back to this, I thought for sure I was going to love it
Me too.
like how I remembered, but I was like, okay, it was a little flat for me,
Yep.
and I thought that was a really interesting thing, but getting to the scores, we both gave it a 10 for cast
Mm-hmm.
because everybody who's everybody is in that
He's in this
movie.
movie.
We both gave it a 6 for acting.
Yeah.
We both gave it a 5 for the plot because the trailer was
It's
pretty
terrible.
bad.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. Now for ending, you went 6 and I went 7. So it brings it to
I wanted John Cryer to get his girl.
well, I did too, but that doesn't happen. That's not how
I
the
know,
real world works.
I know,
And I think
because
that
it's fantasy,
I think
wasn't it?
I like that little bit about it. I wanted it to be that way. I wanted John Cryer to get the girl,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that
me too.
it didn't happen. So
No,
fuck Ducky, get your forget it. You don't get it. I didn't get it when I was in high school. I tried for the exchange student from Norway. It didn't happen. So I set my goals too high. I realized
I think we all did in high school.
yeah, because I graduated high school and I was just barely 5 foot tall. So I didn't get my growth spurt until I was 22. So um, that's why I didn't peak in high school. I actually didn't peak until I was probably 23. Um, and then I was 30 when I wrestled. Um, so I was definitely past my prime at that point. But anyway, where were we?
We're
Um,
on
we were
ending.
on
We just finished it.
ending. Yeah, we just finished ending. So story, same thing. You're at a 6, I'm at a 7. Makes it 6.5.
Hmm.
For script, you're at a 7, I was at an 8. Because I'm giving a little bit of a benefit of the doubt to John Hughes for the time. I think the script was really good, but yeah, it doesn't hold its weight now. Cinematography, you went 5, I went 6. So I'm just a little bit higher on some of these.
Yeah, you are.
For direction, you went 6, I went 8.
Did you
Because
give it 8
again,
because of John Hughes?
because John Hughes. And because when I first watched it, I thought it was really good. So I'm kind of giving a little bit
Okay,
of a
I see
benefit
where
of
you're
the
going
doubt.
with that.
Benefit of the doubt to John Hughes based on when I first watched it, not my recent watch. Um, for soundtrack, you went 7, I went 8. And again, good soundtrack here.
Hmm.
And then for wild card, because we have it listed as a comedy, we gave it a 6, both of us.
We were pretty on, yeah.
We were pretty on it. I think I was 1 point higher in a lot of these settings than you were, but again, this was right in my teenage years when it first came out. I saw it in the theater, um, so I still have that nostalgia going
Yeah.
for the movie, and it kind of helped it out. But all in all, decent movie. It was fun to revisit, but I don't want to live there.
Yeah.
that's that's kind of that's kind of where it ended up with me. I was like, yeah,
Kind of like
mm,
Iowa.
yeah. Oh, speaking of Iowa,
Yeah.
I was watching. God, what is it? Um, Storm's Gone Viral or some sort of documentary series where it talks about these weird storms. And there was something that happened in Iowa that they call a derecho.
Yes, that was just a little bit north of us. It was fucking terrible. I
Yeah,
mean, it
I was
destroyed.
like, I was like, what the heck is this? This is like, it was like a
Hmm.
tornado all in one direction. It was like,
Yeah.
it just
We got the
trees
tail end of it here. It wasn't
splitting.
as bad,
So
but
you
just
got
north of
like
there.
you got kind of the
Yeah.
outside of it, like.
Yeah. And
But man, that was like, wow, that was crazy.
yeah, I was a year later. I was up in Cedar Rapids where they got hit the hardest,
Mhm.
and man, you can still see the damage today, because it just took trees and just snapped them, just like they were a toothpick. It
Mhm.
just, yeah, it was terrible.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching it, like trees just like splitting, like someone just went
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah.
Uh but yeah, I was like I was watching this thing and then it said it happened in Iowa and I was like, dude, I gotta talk to Rich and see what the heck that was
I remember it.
about. Because I mean, yeah, and then they talked about the San Francisco earthquake in '89,
Yeah, I
and
remember watching that when watching the World Series.
yeah, I was in the mall, um
Oh
and
shit.
like 90 miles away when it happened, and the whole mall just did this bit. I was in,
That's why I
I was,
messaged you the other day. Was it
yeah,
the other day or last
I
week?
was in Barnes and Noble, and it was like all the books were doing this bit, falling off the shelves and stuff. It was
Shit.
crazy. But yeah, no, yeah, you asked me about the earthquake before, and I'm like, no, it wasn't strong enough for me to feel it where I was at. But I did have one, and I think it was last year that was 6.4, and the epicenter was 12 miles from me. So I actually had movies fall off the shelf, and I lost one.
Not steel books, right?
No,
Oh,
steelbooks.
shoot.
The steelbook shelf was low enough to the ground where it didn't fall, but all the taller shelves, I lost movies off the top, and I had one casualty. I had one movie that broke.
Oh, damn.
So I was like, oh, moment of silence, cried a little bit.
Right?
Yeah, I poured one out, and
Movie collectors, non-movie collectors, you don't know what it's like, man.
yeah, just you know, so yeah, a lot of Hughes trapped in 80 sensibilities for better or worse. I agree with
Yeah.
that. It's the epitome of a good solid 7. Yep, there's nothing like a solid 7, bro.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so let's get into the next movie, and this is going to be one of my picks, and that is Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
See, I love this movie, bro, but I love
I
it.
didn't.
What's that?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
Mm-mm.
Well,
I am not a Guillermo del Toro guy. I'm not a big fan of his work. Um,
interesting.
I
Interesting.
like Hellboy. I like Shape of Water. That's it. I did Shape of Water, right? He did
Yeah,
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water.
Yeah. Um,
Hmm. Yeah,
but
he has a great movie. Well, one that I really liked. It's called The Orphanage,
yeah,
and I really like that.
he's got a new series on Netflix too.
Okay.
Hey, what's
Oh
up,
yeah.
pop culture?
Hey, is it Evan?
Yeah.
And um, I hate Pretty in Pink. I'm not ashamed. It's okay.
It's okay.
We didn't think it holds up. We didn't give it a
Yeah.
great score, and
I
I
don't see how.
I don't see Huck, but
But hey, you might know something I don't.
maybe
Anyway,
anyway, get into Pan's Labyrinth. I like this movie, but I like it visually, and
yes.
I actually prefer to watch this movie on mute
I can see why.
with just the subtitles going and the whole fantasy world and all that. I will put this in, put it on mute, and you know, clean the house, mop the floor, do the
How'd the
dishes.
4K look?
4K's great. Oh man, it looks so good.
Good.
And that's right there. The 4K. 4K look really good. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, Evan. I don't know. I mean, I do like the music, but I prefer to watch it on mute because I just want to look at it. And Dell loves Pan Labyrinth and the Orphanage so much that he said it twice. He probably didn't
Yeah,
mean to do
I'm
that,
sorry,
but
guys. I just don't. I can't get behind Del Toro. I'm interested in seeing his Pinocchio. I think that's
I'm
coming to
interested in his
Netflix.
Pinocchio. I think it'll be an interesting take.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Um,
But I normally don't seek out his stuff.
hmm.
I would have never watched this
If it wasn't for
Dave
me,
did pick it. Yeah,
I didn't
I
pick it.
avoided it. I did. Um,
Yeah, interesting, interesting enough. And the scores that you gave kind of reflect your feelings toward it, but you still
mhm.
gave credit where credit is due
Yeah,
with some of the stuff, which is great. And that's I like it that we can be honest with the score, but just this wasn't my cup of tea. This
yeah.
wasn't something that I like to watch. Um, I mean, I can't say that about any of the movies that you picked. I liked all of them.
Oh, good.
Pretty in Pink was the only one that didn't hold up for me, but
Me too.
I still enjoyed
Oh,
watching
okay.
it. Um, I
That
think it's
Paramount
gonna. I think
Presents.
that's gonna change next week. I think there's something I'm not gonna like, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Evan loved Shape of Water and needs to rewatch Pan's Labyrinth. Okay. Yeah, I just like I said. I mean, I did like the music. I watched it on 4K with the full sound and everything. But when I've seen the DVD like a bunch of times, and I usually just watch it with the subtitles, and I have the voices and the music on mute. I just have it on mute, reading the subtitles and enjoying the visuals of the movie because I think that's where it stands out. Um, so I understand you didn't like it, but were there things that you liked about the movie?
I thought visually it was beautiful.
Yeah,
Del Toro did an amazing job telling a story. Um, like you said, you could turn the sound off and still get the story.
yeah.
Um, but
Everything that's going
yeah,
on without hearing a
hmm
single word.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
get
been
the
my takeaway.
I get the emotions of the
Hmm
actors. Everything comes through without.
Yeah, their facial
w-
expressions.
Yeah, yeah,
And this is where I messed up on the cast because I forgot the rule for foreign films.
yeah. But I changed that for
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Good.
So, but yes, because of foreign films, same thing. For foreign films, we automatically give it a 4 because chances are we don't recognize any of the actors anyway. And then you add 1 point for each person that you do recognize. So you and I are both at a 4 because of that. I didn't recognize
hmm
anybody. You don't recognize anybody. Doesn't matter. Doesn't bother me a bit. Now for acting, oh, let me go back. So it had a budget of $16 million. This is from 2006. It grossed 87 million in the box office and video sales 44.7 million.
Damn.
So it made like 10 times its budget, pretty
Yeah.
much. Really good. And there's the train. 4 minutes late today. Um, okay, so 4 for the cast. For acting, you went 8
hmm
and I went 9, which I think is reasonable. I mean, I thought the acting was really good, especially for it being all in Spanish. I felt
Yep.
the emotions. I understood what everyone was doing without having to, understand the words. I didn't even have to really read the subtitles too much because I
Yeah.
kind of knew what was going on. For the plot, which is the trailer, you gave it a 7. I gave it an 8. For the ending, you gave it a 10,
hmm
and I gave it a 9. And my take was, and this is um kind of similar to um our was it Prisoners or
Yeah. I think it's prisoners.
was Prisoners where you wanted just a little bit more?
Yeah.
That's how I felt here. I wanted just a little bit more.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Um and there's something I didn't want to happen that did happen. So it
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay, I didn't really want that to happen. That was
Me
sad.
neither.
But it was good. It wasn't what I wanted. Okay, so then we talk about the story. We're both at an 8.
Yep.
For script, we're both at an 8. Cinematography, we're both at a 10, which is beautiful,
Yeah.
visually amazing.
hmm
For direction, we're both at a 10.
Again, I do not like Guillermo del Toro,
Yeah,
but you can't deny
you can't
what an
deny
amazing job
what.
he did with this film.
Yeah, and then for score and soundtrack, we're both at a 6. Again, yeah, I don't think I need the score, which is why
Yeah.
sometimes I just mute it. And then for the wild card, because it's a fantasy, we both gave it a 10. And it absolutely deserves a 10 because this
Yeah.
is an entire fantasy world that
hmm
this girl is in such a horrible place that she creates this fantasy world to get away from it.
Yeah.
And um and even this fantasy world is dark. There's shit going on. You're like, man, I think the only thing about this is because this movie was received so well, and it may be Guillermo del Toro, but this movie was received so well that I felt in the other movies that he did, he made his creatures look similar,
Yes.
and it could
A
be
lot
just
of
the
his
way he
creatures
does
look.
it, but it makes me think like M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan gets a home run with his first movie with Sixth Sense,
Yeah.
and then tries to do the same thing with every other movie that he does. We want this amazing twist at the end that's just mind blowing,
Yeah.
and then he couldn't really achieve that afterwards.
No. And that sucks too, because his story, M. Night Shyamalan's stories
His
are
writing
good.
is great.
Yeah.
I love the way he writes, but he was like, "Oh, Sixth Sense was so perfect. I want to just do that."
Hmm.
So every movie that he does since is like build up, reveal. And you're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, come on."
Yeah. I
Um
agree.
and I think Guillermo del Toro had a similar issue where he was like, "Oh, they love these monsters and these things that I think of. I'm going to keep doing that." So I got that in Hellboy and Hellboy
Hmm.
2. The monsters kind of all look the same
They
as
looked all
Pan's Labyrinth. That's why I liked Orphanage. It kind of takes it out of it,
the same.
and it's
Kind of.
ghosts and stuff, and I enjoyed that.
You froze.
So did you. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see now. Yeah. Yeah. You're good.
Okay. Okay. We had a little hiccup there. But I've got some weather going on, so
Okay.
um anyway, where were we? We were at
Direction.
Oh, we did it. Well, we did
Oh yeah, we
direction,
finished it. Yeah,
we
that's
did
right.
soundtrack, we did wild card. So, and
Yeah.
I went by the wild card because it is the it's a quintessential fantasy film.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it was so good that
Again,
way.
I didn't like the movie, but it's a work of art.
Yeah,
It really is.
I agree. And sometimes, like the opera, some people just don't like the opera.
Right.
Like me, I don't like the opera, but I can appreciate it for what it is.
I almost picked Pitch Perfect just for you.
Oh shit, bro. You bastard. I already had to watch that with Amanda. I had to watch that with my daughter because she picked that as one of her top 5, and it was just like, oh god. I don't mind Pitch Perfect, but mm,
I was gonna go with Pitch Perfect 3. That's
yeah.
the worst one.
Oh, that is the worst one. Del Toro is greater than M Night. I am Sham. Yes.
Yeah.
I call him M Night Shyamalama Ding Dong. Um, I think he's absolutely greater, but I think M Night is a really good writer.
Yeah.
And I think Del Toro is an amazing director. His vision is so cool.
His visuals.
Um, I think M Night is honest as views. Unbreakable was not too well received at the time. I liked Unbreakable. I enjoyed that.
I did too.
And
I
anything he
liked it when I first
tried,
saw
it seemed to be over criticized for. That's a tough for the director. Yeah, I agree with that. But that's because his first movie was a home run. So everybody
it.
wanted the rest of his movies to be as good or better than Sixth Sense, and he just couldn't do it.
Mm-mm.
It's a shame that you knock your first one out of the park, and then everybody expects you to hit home runs every time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I liked Unbreakable. I enjoyed Signs, and then The Village killed it for me. And
Yeah.
then everything else after that,
You didn't like Old?
I liked Old. Actually, I think Old was probably one of his better recent movies.
Yeah,
I
I agree.
I I enjoyed Old.
What about Split?
Um,
I dug Split.
I I dug Split, but I didn't dig Glass.
Yeah, Glass was a little bit of a let. I mean, I still
I I
enjoyed it, but
I
it's a little bit
really
of a
I
letdown.
really wanted Glass to be great,
Yeah,
but it seemed like he just kind of threw that together.
yeah. And we didn't get. I
Um,
wanted more story on the organization.
yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
It was like, what, you
Um,
killed these motherfuckers already?
But yeah, no, I enjoyed Split, but James McAvoy made Split as good as it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, like Village, Lady in the Water, and Signs.
I didn't
Okay,
like Lady in the Water.
I I didn't care for Lady in the Water either. I liked Signs. I
I
didn't.
love Sun.
I was just not a fan of the Village. I didn't like it. I knew exactly what was going to happen all the
Mm-hmm.
way through. It was so predictable for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just, yeah, it was really just. I was very disappointed in it, and that kind of put a sour taste in my mouth for anything M Night for a while after that. The Happening.
We don't talk about The Happening.
Yeah, we don't talk about The Happening. We don't talk about Fight Club either. We definitely don't talk about The Happening.
Fight Club's overrated.
Fight Club's overrated. Yeah, I like Fight Club, but after doing the whole pause moments, trying to find the little Tyler Durden crap,
Yeah.
I'm done watching it. I don't need to watch that anymore. Um, all right, so we did Pan's Labyrinth. It's your turn. Let's do after we do this. Split was really good. Glass
I
was a
like The Visit
mess.
too.
Didn't like Old. I like The Visit
I
too.
like The
I
Visit.
I didn't mind The Visit.
Yeah.
The diapers in the shed that kind of bothered me, but Happening is great if you look at it as a comedy. If you make it a drinking game, I think it's fabulous. I I liked the Happening in the beginning,
Yeah. I
but
agree
the
with
the twist was awful. That's
you.
where it lost me.
Yeah, the plants.
Yeah. Really? They're doing that? Okay. Um all right, so let's go with Parasite.
Love
And
movie.
I'm going to step away for just a second. While I
Okay.
do that, I'm going to go
Oh,
ahead and compile the new outro
okay.
and get that loaded. But I'll be back in just 2 minutes. Go ahead
All right.
and talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Parasite was. I didn't know at the time that the director that did this did Snowpiercer. I like Snowpiercer, um, but I found my love of Korean film. Bong Joon Ho, I think that's how you say it. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Um, Signs is a near perfect film for me. I will defend that one. I agree. I think he did a really, really good job on that one. Uh, Swing Away. I love how they tied that in the car wreck, and then at the end. But back to Parasite. I fell in love with this director. David recommended The Host. Love that. I liked Okja, the Super Pig movie. That was a Netflix original. Then Criterion released it, which I was glad I picked that 4K up. That was my first Criterion 4K. And then I just recently saw on Hulu Memories of a Murder. I think it's Memories of a Murder. Fucking fantastic. I think that's my second favorite Bong Joon Ho. Again, I don't know if I'm saying it right. That movie was amazing. So yeah, I am falling in love with Korean film. I haven't seen a whole lot. Ip Man, however you want to say it, love that. That was thanks to David and Alex from Geeks and Flicks. Both. It's funny. The same week, I think they both recommended it to me. So I finally watched that not too long ago. His movie, check out his movie Mother. Um, I want to. I was look on his IMDb page. There's all kind of shit I want to check out from him. But yeah, he's fantastic. I'm glad he won an Oscar for Parasite because that movie is just fantastic. If you guys have not seen Parasite, do yourself a favor and watch it. Watch it. Either there's three ways to watch it: Blu-ray, in the Blu-ray Criterion. Oh, excuse me, in the 4K. I watched the 4K. I own that movie 3 times. If they do another release, I'll probably buy that again. But anyway, back to Memories of a Murder. That was fantastic. I didn't know it was loosely based on a true story. But yeah, and then I saw The Devil. Dave recommended that for last month for gore,
I saw The Devil's so good.
and that was fantastic. So I again haven't seen a whole lot of Korean film, but I'm loving what I have seen, and that makes me want to go check out more. So like I said, I found in my butt for it. Park. What kind of movies does this person direct, though?
Park Chan-wook.
Yeah, I have never. I don't know, because I would
He
definitely.
directed Old Boy. I know that.
Oh, I've never seen Old Boy. I'm gonna
Oh
have
man, you want to talk disturbing though?
to.
um, it's not excision bad, but it's
Station's fucked up.
I'm sorry, but let's see. Oh yeah, he did Thirst. He
I've never seen that.
did Lady Vengeance. He did Stoker. The Handmaiden. Yeah, he's done some really good thrillers.
Yeah, but man, I wonder what Bong Joon Ho is gonna do next.
Mm-hmm.
I I'm curious.
Yeah. Check out his movie Mother.
I want to. I seen it on his IMDb.
Is that Jun-ho also?
Yeah,
Okay. Trying to get caught up. Yeah. Oh, Parasite.
yeah.
Parasite it's really good.
I fucking love that movie.
Yes, he does some disturbing films. Yes, he does. Old Boy is disturbing, but
Never seen
do
it.
not, do not see the American remake.
I want to see the
Watch the
Korean.
watch the original Korean movie.
Isn't Josh Brolin in the remake?
Josh Brolin and Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh, yeah. I
I'm
I would want to see it in
it
Korean.
was okay, but you got to see the original Korean. And then
Yeah.
another one that I recommend for you. We just haven't run into something that I can put that in. There's a movie called The Man from Nowhere.
Hmm.
That is an awesome Korean film.
Yeah. I I love it. And I don't want to watch it dubbed either. I want to watch it subtitled
You gotta watch it
because
subtitled.
you don't get the emotion. I don't care how good of a subtitle actor you get, it doesn't work.
Hmm.
That's I'm pissed that that's how I watched It Man for the first time. It was subtitled. Um, I
Yeah.
did pre-order that 4K that's coming out of the first one.
Yeah. Jung Byum Lee is the director of The Man from Nowhere. Um, but it's basically Leon the Professional as a Korean movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like Leon the Professional. So
Yeah. And it's bar none best night fight scene I have ever seen in any movie.
really,
Huge knife fight scene. And awesome. Even better than John Wick 3. I do like the knife fight scene in John Wick 3 where they're just constantly throwing knives, dude,
mm-hmm.
like that. I dug that. I really liked it, but Man from Nowhere, great knife work. Just amazing. Um all right, so we're talking about Parasite. What would be your biggest takeaway from here? Um
Oh, man, I
I,
want to say the acting because this family's desperate. Um, and then the family they go to is the mom. She's amazing in this movie.
mhm.
Fun fact.
Oh, let me put that up.
Yeah, read that.
Um Fun fact for American remake of Old Boy, they filmed a 3-hour movie that the studio chopped well over an hour of it, so Spike Lee disowned it. That makes sense because it did feels like it was chopped up.
Ooh, Spike Lee made that movie, the remake.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't like Spike Lee.
He
So
he well he had a hand in it, yeah, and then yeah, all of a sudden he was like out, and I was like,
oh,
I didn't know the reason why. Thank you, Dell, for
yeah.
throwing that in there, but it was like, yeah, I heard Spike Lee was involved and he did the movie, and then all of a sudden he was out in post production, and that makes total sense now.
Oh, and the visuals of um, this movie, to the way it's shot. There's a lot of
Oh
cinema
yeah,
in here.
the cinematography here is really good. Um,
They're not giving anything away. That shot where they're looking from because they got a basement apartment or whatever you want to call it.
yeah,
See the street. Something about that shot I really like. It works. Um, it kind of works as they're the lower class people.
yeah. It kind of like it
Yeah.
hints to the fact that they're beneath everyone else
Hmm.
in stature, and that's an interesting. It's interesting that you see that in the picture
Yeah. That's what I saw. The way I saw
that's
it.
drawn. Yeah, I totally. Yeah, I see that. And I can't say I didn't. I thought of that until you mentioned it. So it does make a lot of sense. Um, all right. So I know my favorite thing about this movie is the buildup.
Hmm.
Um, how it starts out, you know, okay, this family's trying to con the rich family, and they're doing stuff, trying to get a better life for themselves, and then it builds up and builds up and builds up, and then just an epic ending where you're just like
Yeah.
just stunned, and it was interesting, and I really dug the movie. I'm glad I got the 4K of it because it was really a good watch.
Yeah.
All right, so we're talking about cast, and again, we go to the the default four because
Hmm.
it's a Korean film. Now you actually gave it.
The two.
uh,
Because that guy is in. I can't say his name. He's in all his movies.
Yeah,
That's how I knew. Um,
there it is. I was like, yeah. So you gave it 2 extra points.
yeah.
So you gave it a 6. I gave it 1 extra point. There was one person I recognized, and so I gave it a 5. That put us at a 5.5 for that. Acting, we're both at a 9.
Hmm.
I think acting's just solid across the board.
Yeah.
We both gave the plot an 8. So good trailer, not
Yeah.
perfect, but a good trailer that makes you interested.
Hmm.
Because I probably wouldn't have gotten this movie. Well, had it not been for the Oscar, but winning the Oscar, I was like, dude, I've definitely got to watch this movie.
See,
But
how I discovered it was the Oscar build-up. People were about, oh, this movie Parasite, Parasite,
yeah,
and that was the
oh yeah,
first year. I was like, I want to watch all the Best Picture
all
nominees.
all the Best Picture nominees. Yeah,
Hmm.
I usually don't do that.
Really, I try to because I do this thing with myself. I'll try to pick all the important categories. I will try to see how close I can get.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So for the ending, you gave it a 9. I gave it a 10 because I really like the ending. That's my
Me
favorite
too.
part. For story as well, you gave it a 9. I gave it a 10. For script, you gave it a 9. I gave it a 10. Cinematography, you gave it a 10. I gave it an 8, which averages out to a 9. Direction, we're both at a 10. I mean, it was just brilliantly directed.
Yeah.
For score, we're both at a 6. I like the music in it, but I thought it was
Hmm.
it was forgetful.
Yeah.
Um, and then for uh, wild card, you're at a 9. I have it listed as a thriller. You gave it a 9. I gave it a 7. So that averages out to an 8. But it's such a good movie. It definitely deserves the Oscar. I think it's. I thought it was going to be overrated, but it wasn't. It's really good.
Yeah.
Um, I'm very happy to have watched it. Would I, if you hadn't have picked it, I probably wouldn't have seen this again.
Really.
Yeah, this is not something that I would watch over and over again. But it was
Ever since
good.
it
It
came
was
out,
it was good revisiting it a second time.
I
And
try to watch it every year since it came out. I really dig it.
yeah.
I own it 3 fucking times. Got the
Yeah.
Blu-ray, got the Criterion, and I got the 4K.
Yeah. I know you have the Criterion, and I like that Criterion,
Me
the
too.
hard box with the holes
Yeah,
in it and it slides out. I think that's really cool.
yeah.
So this movie's from 2019, so it's 3 years old. The budget on it was $11.8 million. It made 253.3 million in the box office,
Damn.
and that was a lot of Oscar hype for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then 7.1 million in video sales. So really good money. Definitely an awesome movie. Great pick. I
Yeah,
loved scoring this. I had a lot of fun with this movie, and it was good. It was good to revisit it.
yeah. It was a great watch.
Yeah,
4K looks fantastic too.
it does. It
It
absolutely
looks
does.
really good.
All right. So speaking of which, let's go into our next one. Those two and those two. Okay. We're doing okay. I don't know if we're going to be under 2 hours, but I think we're doing pretty good on time. All right. So Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oof.
This was interesting getting your scores on this, bro. I love this movie.
I don't like Johnny Depp. I never have.
Oh,
I like him in Blow.
and I didn't like Blow. I didn't. I'm I have a problem with movies that glorify drug use,
Right.
and that's
And
kind of
what was
just a
that
thing.
one where it's like a supernatural movie? Is it
Ninth Gate.
Window? What?
Oh, he did Secret Window.
Secret. I liked him in
He did
that.
Secret Window. I like that, but I like the Ninth Gate, um, which is
Yeah, I
kind
like
of
that too.
a. I like Ninth Gate, and I really liked him in Nick of Time. It was just kind of a simple little thriller, but
I don't think I've seen that.
okay. If you get a chance, it's basically his name is Nick, and they give him a certain amount of time to do something, or they kill his kid, and
Oh shit.
it's kind of basically along those lines. Really simple idea, but good action, good thriller. It was decent. I enjoyed that. But I'm a Johnny Depp fan. I like him. I think his older movies were 50-50 for me. My hot take is I did not like Edward Scissorhands,
Anything
but
with Tim Burton, I don't like.
yeah,
I,
I'm not a Tim Burton fan.
Me neither.
I'm
He's
I'm
so
just not.
overrated. He's a one-trick pony.
Yeah, I'm not. People are gonna be like, oh my goodness. Um, Depp's best performance is in Ed Wood. I thought he did great in Ed Wood.
Yeah,
I didn't care for the movie, but I thought he did a really good job.
yeah.
Um, all right, so let's get into it. This is from 2003. This is Pirates of the Caribbean and the Curse of the Black Pearl, which is the first one.
Yeah.
2003. So it's almost 20 years old. $140 million budget, made 654.3 million in the box office. I don't have a thing on video sales, but it
Right.
made bank in the theater.
They probably made bank in fucking video sales because you had
I
DVDs at that time when that came out.
Yeah,
Probably through the roof.
yeah.
Because
And
I own the
I know I
DVD
have
and
the
Blu-ray.
DVD. I have the DVD. I have the DVD and the 4K
I have
of
the
Pirate.
DVD and the Blu-ray.
Yeah. So yeah,
I
4K.
agree. I don't like Johnny Depp. He's very overrated. He tries to be artsy fartsy and everything, and it gets old real quick.
Yeah, I agree with. I think he's overrated too. I like him. I'm a fan, but I don't think he's that great of an actor. I just like him. I mean, I don't think, I like Tom Cruise. I don't think Tom Cruise is a great actor.
Hey,
Sorry.
that's un-American. He's
Princess
American
Bride.
president.
No. He was born on the 4th of July, damn it. But I like him. I will watch just about anything he does, but I'm not looking at it for his acting. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just not.
Hot take.
Um
I don't like Batman either. It's not a Batman movie. It's a Joker movie. The Joker's in it more than the Batman is.
Big Fish. I like Big Fish,
Actually, I didn't like Big Fish.
but yeah, I liked I liked the Batman movies, but Jack Nicholson stole that movie.
I
If we're
didn't.
talking about the '89 Batman, Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson stole that movie. Depp without white makeup is greater than Depp with white makeup. Okay, I I'm picking up what you're putting down, Dell. Um, because I mean, I'm just when he said that, I thought Lone Ranger because he had the
Yeah.
white makeup and he was Tonto.
Yeah.
I did not care for that.
It's sad that I own that movie because I love the Lone Ranger.
Yeah, and then and then you get Army Hammer, Cannibal,
Mm-hmm.
um, and as the Lone Ranger, and
That's not
yeah,
him.
I don't know. I really wanted to like that movie more than
Me
I
too.
did. I was really hoping that was going to be better.
Me too.
Um, anyway, moving right along, we're still
Retcast.
talking. No, we're talking about Pirates of the Caribbean. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, so okay, I understand that oof, you don't like Johnny Depp, but what did you think of the movie? What did you like about it?
I I love the fantasy aspect of it. I dug
Yes,
that. I thought visually it was not the Disney Plus. Disney Plus stream sucked. I mean the
it did.
actual
And when you told me that, because I totally agree, because I had the 4K. I went and watched the Disney Plus, and yeah, it totally does not
was
compare.
dark and it was like what?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but
I did not like the Disney Plus, and that's odd. I thought the 4K would look identical between Disney Plus and the
because
4K
normally
disc.
the Disney Plus 4Ks
Mhm.
look like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness looks amazing
Yeah,
on Disney Plus.
yeah,
But
right. Yeah, there's I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because of how old the movie is
I don't know, but
that
it's
it just doesn't play well on Disney Plus. I don't know.
I want to say the props. If that's I'm trying to say visually, that's what I mean. The way um, the ships look, the costumes,
Hmm.
yeah, all that stuff. I really liked.
Yeah. No, I dig that too. The special effects with how they made
Yeah,
the crew look in the moonlight and
yeah,
things like that. That was really good. And I dug the soundtrack here.
yeah. It was
I
okay.
I dug the music. And when you're watching this movie that Jerry Bruckheimer's involved when you get that dun 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 dun
Hmm.
dun. Dun. Yeah, it's just like Lost Boys, Bad Boys. They had
Yeah.
the same similar music. Jerry
Hmm.
Bruckheimer kind of goes, "Oh, I want this intense blah blah," blah and the rock and all that
Hmm.
stuff. The music all blends together. It's all the same, but I love it.
Yeah.
Meow, tell him, kitty.
He's looking at
Um,
me very pervertedly. She's looking at me pervertedly,
right.
rubbing against my damn leg. Yeah. Yeah. And she's over there sticking her tail at me.
Yeah, time to get her fixed, bro.
No, I know. I keep forgetting.
Yeah. All right. So for cast, you're at an 8, and I was
Hmm.
at a 9.
So close.
So 8.5. For acting, you were at a 7. I was at a
Mm.
6. I went lower.
I
Um,
like Keira Knightley. Is that her name? Keira Knightley?
yeah, Keira Knightley. I
I
like
like
Keira
her.
Knightley, and
She
I
did a good job.
liked Jeffrey Rush, who played Barbosa. I
Hmm.
liked him, but I thought Orlando Bloom was forced. I thought Johnny Depp was forced. I thought
Yeah.
the
I'll
other
give it a 7
pirates.
for the surrounding cast,
Yeah,
not the main two.
yeah, I'm down. I'm down for that, but I still went 6. It was the main cast that kind of you know they were flat,
Hmm.
it's not what I wanted the movie for. Um, for the plot, you're at a 6 for the trailer, and I was at an
Hmm.
8. I enjoyed the trailer a lot. And did you get that one from IMDb as well?
Yeah,
Okay, so we probably watched the same one.
because I ain't gonna lie, as
For
soon as you see Johnny Depp, I lose interest.
oh right,
I really do.
ooh, Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that bugged me about the trailer, and I would have given it a higher score, but I went down. I went down to an. I went down to an eight. Or wait, where are we? No, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're at 6. I'm at an 8. I was looking at Prisoners. Um, so the thing that put me at an 8 because I would have been higher, but the scenes in the trailer, even though they were in the movie, they weren't shot from the same angle.
Mm-hmm.
So it was different from the movie, but it was the same scene, and that struck me as weird. I
Yeah.
was bothered by that.
See,
And
I wonder if that's Disney practicing early adaptation of shooting shit just for the trailer,
mhm,
like Marvel does all the time. They'll throw shit
yeah,
in there; it's not even in the movie.
like it was a different camera angle, but it was the same scene, and
Mm-hmm.
it was really odd for me.
Yeah,
I hate it when they show something in the trailer that doesn't end up in the movie. That bugs the
me
shit
too.
out of me. So this wasn't that bad, but I was like, this doesn't look right because it doesn't look like the movie did. So that kind of
Right.
that kind of bugged me. Um, oh, Depp has white makeup in most of the stuff with Tim
He
Burton.
does.
Okay, okay, I get it. Yeah, Edward Scissorhands. It kind of struck me now. Um, I agree with that. I like Depp here, and Rush is great. Bloom and Knightley are blah.
I agree with Bloom. I don't
I
know. If it's,
agree.
I love looking at
I
him.
agree with Bloom, and I agree with Rush. I thought that Depp. I thought Depp and Bloom were blah,
Mm-hmm.
and
Depp is
Knightley
blah
and
all the time, though.
yeah. I know Depp is blah to you all the time. Um. So yeah, interesting that you felt that way, bro. And I'm learning more and more about you as we go, and it's awesome. Uh. So where were we? We were talking about
Plot. Well,
plot.
we just finished plot.
For ending, we're both at an 8.
I was 7.
Oh, God, I keep looking at Prisoners because it's up on top. So okay, I was like, I thought I had a stronger ending than that, and I did. You have a 7 for ending. I have a 9 for ending because I really liked how it ended. And then for story, I'm gonna keep my cursor where it's at. For story, we're both at a 6,
Yeah.
so that one we matched. For script, you're at a 7. I'm at an 8. For cinematography, you're at a 9. I was at a 10. I really liked how it was filmed.
Me too.
For direction, you were at a 9 and I was at an 8. For soundtrack and score, you were at a 7. I was at a 9 because I told you I really like the soundtrack. I like the score for it.
Yeah.
And for the wild card as a fantasy movie, you gave it a 10. I gave it a 9 only because Pan's Labyrinth got the 10.
Oh, yeah. I'd get
So
that.
that's why I went 9. But all in all, not a bad score. It did okay. Um,
See, there's another one I didn't. I mean, I own it, but uh, yeah, I probably wouldn't revisit this movie if you didn't pick it.
hmm. Pretty sure I did this. Yeah, I know I did it. Let's do it again anyway, just to be safe. I'm like, I want to make sure I uploaded the new outro video, and I thought I did it, but I'm gonna make sure. I'm just gonna do it again. Um, Again, growing pains, new
Yeah,
season.
we'll get it. We'll figure it out, man.
We'll get it out. We'll get it.
We
We'll
got
do
20.
better.
Was it 26 letters now? We
We
got
got
25
we
more
got
letters.
26 letters in the alphabet, and we got the numbers too. So we got
Oh yeah.
um, so we've got 26 more weeks. This is gonna go for 6 months, unless we have breaks, which maybe for holidays and things like
Yeah.
that we might have some breaks here and there. Um, all right, so let's go. We've got 4 more to do, I believe, if my math is right. So we just did Pirates of the Caribbean. So let's go ahead and do The Prestige.
Let's do that.
Great movie. This is the other one that I wanted to pick for mine, and you beat me to it. But great movie. This is so good.
I agree.
Um,
Oh shit! I didn't give you a score for unless because I don't have it on my notes here for the wild card.
yeah, I had you give it to me later. Remember that?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I messaged you and I got your wild card score.
Phew. Old age.
It's okay. I got you, bro.
Yeah. This movie's fantastic.
It is. It's so good. So I have this listed as a drama, but there's definitely a little bit of fantasy undertones, maybe a little bit of sci-fi, but it takes place like really like way back, and
Yeah.
I dig it. And there's always a movie that I tag team with this, and that's The Illusionist, with Edward Norton, Paul Giamatti, Jessica Biel. They came out around the same time, and they are both about magician type stuff. And I love putting them both together, and I usually watch those in tandem, kind of like I do Dante's Peak and Volcano, or Armageddon and Deep Impact. You know how you got those two that come out about the same time. Olympus Has Fallen, White House Down. I can go on and on.
I definitely give it a rewatch though. I think Nolan does a great job here. I think he did here better than he did the Tenet. I enjoy this one more than I do.
I like this more than I like Tenet.
More than Inception.
Yeah, I agree with that. Inception gave me a headache when I first watched it.
Yeah,
I had to.
I mean, I enjoy.
I liked it, but I had to come back and go. Yeah, I mean,
Inception's overrated.
Now, and he didn't much care for The Illusionist. I understand. It's it definitely it goes in a different direction. It's more romance and less fantastical, as kind of. It was a very much more of a practical magician type thing. I really enjoyed The Illusionist. I liked it a lot. I still like The Prestige more, but I like The Illusionist a lot. Okay, so let's talk about The Prestige. 2006 is when it came out. It had a $40 million budget. Made 104.4 million in the box office, and video sales 48.4 million.
Damn.
So it did pretty good in video sales. Made its money back just in video sales.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Gosh, what's your favorite part about this movie? What are your biggest takeaways?
Again, I'm going to call on Hugh Jackman. I love Hugh Jackman in this. His acting, I dug it. I love the back and forth between Bale and Wolverine.
Yeah, Batman and Wolverine going against each other again. Good. Crossing universes.
And I just love the story of magic they told in here. So,
and loved Michael Caine in this.
Oh, fantastic! That dude could do no wrong. He was even great in Jaws 4.
Yeah, the movie was a steaming pile, but
he was great.
Yeah, and this is another one. Rebecca Hall's in this, and she has you get
small part.
So small part. Piper Perabo, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
You got Bale and Jackman. You got David Bowie. I loved seeing him as Tesla. Andy Serkis is in it.
Yeah. He was his butler, wasn't he, or
Yeah,
whatever you want to call him?
manservant. I don't know, whatever you're going to call it.
Yeah,
But great cast, and because of that, we both gave the cast a 10.
yeah.
So absolutely deserved it. For acting, you were at a 9. I was at an 8. So we come out to an 8.5. For plot, this was my favorite trailer that I watched. So I'm at a 10 for the trailer, and you were at a 9.
Yep.
Now we both gave this an ending of a 10. And it absolutely
You have
deserves.
to.
It's got a great ending. So good. And we both gave the story an 8. We both also gave the script an 8. You were an 8 for the cinematography, and I was a 9.
Yeah.
You gave
Again,
yeah.
go ahead.
It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. What's he say? Oh, I love.
He loaded in Century. And
Um,
I liked him too. I just liked the
yeah.
Prestige a little bit better. Interstellar too was kind of
Oh, Interstellar's fantastic.
I loved it, but I had to watch it
Mm.
a second time to
I did too. With
yeah.
Interstellar.
But oh, the 4K on that is so good.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, where were we? Cinematography.
8.
Yeah. You were an 8.
You were
I was a
higher than me.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went 9, so we at 8.5. For direction, you're at a 10 and
Yeah.
I was at an 8.
I think it's one of Nolan's best, in my opinion.
Okay. I'm still partial to Dark Knight. Probably be my favorite of his. And then Interstellar and then this. For soundtrack and score, you're at a 5 and I was at a 7. So we average out to
Nothing
a
stood out
6.
to me when I was watching it.
Yeah. And then wild card. Let me double check your score that you
Yeah,
gave
because
me.
I don't remember what I sent you.
Yeah, you sent me a 9 and I gave it a 10.
Yeah.
Because I just think yeah, you sent me a 9, I gave it a 10. So really good stuff. But and man, what a great movie
It's fucking fantastic.
it is. It is absolutely fantastic.
I
Okay,
love
3
the
more.
ending. I hate to say I didn't see it coming when I watched the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought when you see this movie for the first time, it's like, oh fuck. I
Yeah.
mean,
What did he just do? What is he doing? It was
yeah,
just yeah. Oh.
yeah. And I will go back to the acting again. The
Mm-hmm.
kid actors in this were good. I thought.
Yeah.
They didn't annoy me.
Yeah. And that's a positive. They may
Mm-hmm.
not have been great, but they didn't annoy you, so it's not. You're not like, oh God,
Right.
somebody shut these kids up.
Like when I went
Um,
saw Black Adam, I said it
mhm.
twice. I was still hoping they would kill that kid second. I thought maybe they would reshoot it and put the new movie in, and hopefully they killed that kid in Black Adam, but they didn't because he was very annoying in Black Adam.
Yeah. I was like, it's not over yet. Maybe he's gonna die. Nope. Um, all right, let's go to the next one, and that is Predator.
Predator. This movie holds a special place in my heart.
Right?
Yeah, my dad
I
took me.
had to pick
Yeah,
this. I had
yeah.
to pick this
I'm
for
glad
P.
you
I was
picked it.
like, I had to pick Predator. Um, so saw it in theaters, blew my mind. I'm guessing Prestige
Yeah.
or whatever. Maybe not Predator. This is not a blow your mind movie. This is a blow you up movie.
My
This
dad
is
took me saw this in theaters when it first came out.
yeah.
I was blown away when I saw it. I was
Yeah.
like, "Holy shit!"
I'm glad Van Damme didn't end up being the Predator here because he was slated to be the
I saw
Predator.
something about that. I didn't know how accurate that was.
Yeah, but he was like, I can't wear the can't wear the suit. I'm like, he's gonna be the Predator. He's gonna be shorter than Schwarzenegger. Predator's well, and doing the splits and shit. And that I just no.
No.
I'm glad he didn't end up
Yeah.
being in that role. But for
What year was this?
this is 87.
Yeah, so I would have been 10.
Yeah, I was 17, of course. So it had a budget of 18 million, and it made 98.2 million in the box office.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything on video sales, but I think
probably made bank. How many times did they release this on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K? I remember coming out of the theater, seeing this, going home the next day, terrified to go outside because I didn't know there was a fucking predator.
There's a predator, invisible, hunting me.
The tree. I was
Damn
like,
it!
Yellow eyes.
Yeah. So Mike says 2 bangers back to back, Prestige and Predator. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's a scary JCVD story. I recently heard about it. Right.
Yeah.
So actually, this is just a bare bones action movie with a monster.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Good action. Good blood. Good. It was a fun movie all around.
Yeah,
not the greatest acting job, not the greatest script, but it's a fun watch.
Yeah.
And it really had to go in here. If we're talking about movies that start with P, Predator had to be in here.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
are.
it does play like a slasher. That's a good way to. I never thought about that.
Baby oiled muscles, latent homosexuality, and somehow 2 future governors in the cast. Right?
Yeah. Governor.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jesse Ventura was the governor of Minnesota.
Yeah. Nostalgia affected my score, I think, on this. But I just love this movie. I was just talking with my dad about it the other day. So
yeah. Okay. So for well, I mean, what would be your favorite takeaway from this?
The visuals of the Predator. I loved that.
Yeah.
The action, the gunfire, the fight scenes. Just yeah. I love everything about this movie.
Yeah. No, I agree with all that. I think this is a great action movie.
Yeah.
And a really good monster.
Yeah.
I think well deserved of the sequels that it got. Although the sequels, didn't end up being as good. I like 2.
I like 2 too.
I like 2 a lot. But then after that, yeah, I mean, I still enjoyed them, but they couldn't quite get that level from the first 2 movies.
Prey was good.
Prey was good. I enjoyed Prey a lot.
Me too.
I'm really hoping for a physical release of that.
Me too.
So getting down to the nitty gritty for cast, you gave it a 7. I gave it an 8. For acting, you gave it a 6. And I gave it a 5. So 5.5. For the plot, I really like this trailer because you get that narrator, you get that 80s narrator stuff. Now you gave it an 8, I gave it a 9. For ending, you gave it a 9, and I gave it a 10 because I really liked how it ended with the whole place blowing up. And I'm sorry if you haven't seen this, it's 87. We're spoiling this one. Whole place blows up. Helicopter comes in. He's standing there in the wreckage of just the forest laid out, and he's just covered in dry mud, and he's kind of standing there in his epic pose. And I was like, dude, so cool.
I agree, Dale. Carl Weathers' arm being chopped off, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Still firing the rifle. Yeah, I dug that. And he's all, that's what you get for trying to have a bigger biceps than Arnold. You get yours chopped off. Yeah, totally would love a physical release of that. Um, so back to Predator. We are talking about where we really
We're on
off.
story.
We're on story.
Yeah.
Yeah, story. You're at an 8, and I was at a 7. So 7.5 for script. You're at an 8, and I was at a 6 because I wasn't too happy with the script, but because it was just simple. So it averages
I
out
think
to a
this is where my
7.
nostalgia kicks in.
Yeah. For cinematography, we're both at a 7. I do like the jungle scenes, but there
Me too.
wasn't much else going on other than that. I did like the angles of the dudes hanging from the trees that were
Mm-hmm.
skinned. I enjoyed that.
I do too.
So there were some good shots, and then there were some normal shots.
Yeah.
For direction, we both gave it a 7. Again, simple 80s direction. It kind of went the way you would expect. For soundtrack, you gave it a 7. I gave it an 8 because I did like some of the music, some of the score. I liked it a little bit better. And then for wild card, you gave it a 10 for an action movie, and I gave it a 9. But we're pretty close. It's
Yeah.
not bad.
Fun film, man. It's
Yeah,
one of
it
my
was
films.
fun. I liked going back and watching it again.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. Even though I mean, it's not a great movie, but
It's fun.
it's definitely one of my favorites from the '80s because just that fun factor. It's something that you can just watch over and over and
Yeah.
enjoy. Turn your
Yeah.
brain off and go for it.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 2 left. Had to get to them. There they are. And we'll do yours first. And your last one is Perks of Being a Wallflower. I, I love this movie, bro.
Me
I
too, man.
I was like this was one of my alternate picks as
It was one of
well.
mine too. I didn't realize it until you
And I was
said it.
like oh, okay. So, um it's such a good story. Again, sad but
Yeah.
relatable.
Yeah. High
Um
school.
High school.
Again, timeless.
No, everybody was ass backwards in high school. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. It just there unless you were even if you were the captain of the football team, I got to say, your things were going on in your life
Yeah.
that you can't control. And I think that's what I enjoy about this is these kids are not in control. They realize it and they own it. They're like,
Yeah.
we know we know that our world is a shambles. We know what's going on with our parents. We know what's going on with how the other kids in school treat us, but still we're here and we're going to try to move forward.
Yeah.
Um so gosh, what's your biggest takeaway here? What did you like about this movie?
Again, I'm going. One of my favorite things, the same, it's been prevalent through all these fucking movies, is the acting. Um, Logan Lerman, that's his name, right?
Yes.
So good in this. And I am not a Harry Potter fan. I've seen them, I've watched
Mhm.
them, haven't paid that much attention to them while I'm watching them on
Mhm.
my phone or doing something else. But Emma Watson in this, she's amazing. But to me, the person that shines in this
Ezra Miller.
is Ezra Miller. He's got a lot of shit going on with him right now. But you take away all that bullshit, he is a great actor.
Mhm.
He's fantastic in this. He's fantastic in We Need to Talk About Kevin. If you haven't seen that, definitely look that
Yeah,
up.
I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, is
It's just that's the subject matter is just not
yeah.
something I don't I no.
Uh,
But he was
but
brilliant in the movie, but I
yeah,
I can't
in
watch that
this,
movie.
he's one of my favorite characters in this movie.
Mhm.
Again,
I
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I loved him in this movie, and I
Yeah,
totally agree with you, bro. It was
all three of these kids in this
yeah,
movie.
all three of these kids are so good.
Yeah,
So Dell says Perks is one of my favorites to come out of the young adult era. I know.
yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
totally agree.
Yeah,
Um, this is one of those teen movies that really
that hits
good. It
hard.
really hits home. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's really good. There it is. Only 2 minutes late this time. And again, Evans, Perks of Being a Wallflower is one of my favorite books. I will not watch the movie because of that.
I
I
understand.
get it. I
I
get
get
it.
that.
I've never read the book, but I would totally get that. I would. But now that I've seen the movie, I would read the book
I get that too.
to get that comparison. Um, I am a huge Harry Potter fan. Not as big as my daughter is, um, but yeah, and she agrees. Um, but pretty close. I really like Harry Potter. I read the books to my kids when they were little, and it's really hard to come up with 14 different British accents when you're trying to read one of these books. But I got a thumbs up from my daughter. Yeah, I did a pretty good job.
That's good.
Um, and I'm just gonna say my Dumbledore was spot on to the original Dumbledore before he passed away in the second movie. Exactly like him before the movies even came out. I sounded like him. Um, okay, so going to cast. Um,
I'm at a 10.
you were at a 10. I was at a 6. This is one where I really only recognized Logan Lerman and Emma Watson. I didn't recognize Ezra Miller before this movie. I had no idea who he was.
Yeah, I recognize
Um,
him from seeing something about Kevin.
right. And like I said, I didn't
And
watch
then you
that
have
movie.
Dylan McDermott. You have
I do. I
uh,
yeah. Dylan McDermott was the other one I recognized. He didn't have much of a role though.
no, but you still knew
Um,
him.
yeah, I knew him, but he gets 1 point
Paul
for that.
Rudd.
Paul Rudd. That was the one that I gave that they ended up giving the 6 to. Was Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
Um, as the
but I
teacher.
forgot he was in this.
I liked him as the teacher, but everything
Me too.
I didn't recognize anybody else in the movie. And you know what? No, I didn't even know Logan Lerman by name. I went, "Oh, hey, that's Percy Jackson." That was
Yeah,
kind of that was kind of where I was. Emma Watson and Paul Rudd got the twos, and then it was Logan Lerman, Ezra
oh, and
Miller.
Nina Dobrev
j-
too.
Yeah, yeah,
I
Nina
recognize her.
Dobrev. I had no idea who she was when this
Yeah,
movie first came out.
and then what's his face? 22. I recognized him from a Kevin Smith movie. He
Oh,
was in Red State.
okay. I did like Red State. I
Me
can't say
too.
I recognized him from
Yeah,
from anything else, from anything, but I
that's
did
where I.
like watching Red State. I enjoyed that movie. Um, anyway, moving right along, acting. Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry.
We're on cast. We just finished cast.
We just finished cast. Acting, you're at a 9. I was at a 10. Um, for plot, this is another one. I loved this
I
trailer.
liked the trailer. Didn't
You
love
were
it.
at
I liked it.
you were at an 8. I was at a 10 for the trailer. For ending, you were at a 9
Hmm.
and I was at a 7. For story, you were at a 9. I was at a 7. And I think mainly because this story really made me sad. The whole thing about Logan Lerman's character,
Yeah,
I was just like, oh man. And Ezra Miller, I thought he really
yeah.
got the short end of the stick. Um, for um,
Script.
for script. I'm trying to think. Where am I at here? 9, 10. Okay, I've got to go back because I wrote these because these were the 2 extra ones that we did. So I wrote these a little weird. So I'm sorry for cast you're at a 10. I was at an 8, which comes out to a 9. For acting, you were at a 9. I was at a 10. That's right. For plot, you were at an 8. I was at a 9.
Mm-hmm.
So 8.5. So I was not at a 10 there. For ending, yeah, you were at a 9. I was at a 7. That's right. For story, 9 and 7. That's right. Okay, I'm caught up now. I'm back. I'm back. I'm even now. So script, we're both at a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for cinematography, you're at a 5.
Shot like any other normal movie.
Yeah, and I was at a
Nothing.
7. I kind of enjoyed it. I especially, and the one thing that comes up is that for me is the truck scene where she's
Yeah.
standing in the truck. I
Yeah, I can
loved
see
that
your.
whole sequence. And then when he goes and does it, he's standing up and they're going across the
Yeah.
bridge.
I was waiting for him to get decapitated. Oof.
Two little hereditary action.
Right.
for for direction, we're both at a 9. For um, soundtrack score, you're at a 7. I was at an 8. And then for the wild card being a drama, you're at a 7 and I was at an 8.
So close.
Not bad. This movie's from 2012. It had a budget of 13 million, made 33 million in the box office and 18.6 million in video sales. So not bad. It made its
No.
money. Meow. But this is a beautiful film. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely watch it.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous film. All right, we got one more to do, and then we can close this puppy out.
And the last one, it's one of my
And the
favorite movies.
last one is Phone Booth.
I'm so glad you
With,
picked this.
oh, bro, me too. And it was just like it turned out to be one of my best. And score wise, I was like,
I
wow.
can see. Yes. Yeah.
Um, but it's such a good thriller.
In the
Um,
runtime, perfect.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Perfect
If the
runtime.
runtime was a category, get a 10.
Yeah, 10. We might think about that as a category, but we'd have to take something else out. I don't know. Meow. Um, or maybe merge 2 things.
I was kidding about runtime. Some movies need
I'm
it.
liking runtime, but runtime's really easy to score though. So maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I kind of throw runtime in with like story or script to where it's like, okay, is this supposed to be running that long, or the story drags a little bit, things like that. Um, so Phone Booth is from 2002. It's 20 years old.
I
Had a
can't believe.
bud I know had a budget of 11 million. It made 97.8 million in the box office, so almost 100 million.
I did not expect that.
Yeah. And it did good on video sales too, but I
Oh
couldn't
yeah.
get a number on it. But I own
Yeah.
it. But
I rented
gosh,
it multiple times.
yeah, it's such a good movie.
Hmm.
Um, and let's see, just looked it up. The author wrote the script and directed Perks. I need to check it out now. Was not expecting this to be in the field. Fun movie though.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, so Phone Booth. What's your favorite takeaway from it? What do you like most about the movie?
I think the story. Dude's a jerk. He gets called out,
Hmm.
and it's confined to one basically scene, one shot, or not one shot, but one location.
Hmm.
This phone booth, and they make it work.
Hmm.
You know, you see him at the beginning walk. Spoiler: this fucking movie's 20 years old. so I'm not
Yeah.
gonna spoil. You see him walking around New York.
Oh,
That's
all looking like John Travolta with his
yeah.
because
Um,
he thinks his shit doesn't stink in this
yeah,
movie. He's just like, I'm Stu, and I'm the
yeah.
best, and
But
I
then
got Katie Holmes on the side, and I'm married to Rhoda Mitchell, and take it. Um,
and Colin Farrell's performance in this is
Colin
really
Farrell,
good. He's
good.
not at his peak here,
No,
but he's not at his Penguin. He's not at the Recruit. I love him, the Recruit.
I love him in the Recruit.
Uh,
I liked
but
him in the Fright Night remake.
oh yeah, he's good in that too.
I kind of dug.
I
I've
liked him as
never
Bullseye.
I liked him in I liked him as Bullseye. Um,
I want to see his
I
new movie.
I liked him in Minority Report.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's fantastic in that.
Um,
But his
so
performance in here
yeah,
is pretty good.
yeah. Again,
And
this is
Forrest
one where
Whitaker
you can
too.
kind of feel, and yeah, Forrest Whitaker is always good. I love Forrest Whitaker. I think he's amazing. And I got to say, even though he's a voice on the phone for most of it, Kiefer Sutherland was so good.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking about that. You were right. I forgot that he was the dude,
Yeah. I mean,
and
as
he's
soon as
fantastic.
oh yeah, Tigerland. Evan brought that up. Tigerland
Hmm.
was really good. Um and there was like In Bruges or something like that.
Yeah.
That was really good. Um but but yeah, I remember when I first watched the movie and the phone call comes and I heard the voice and I'm like, that's Kiefer Sutherland. Knew it right off the
Right.
bat. Indistinguishable. It
Yeah.
was like you're like I absolutely knew who it was, and just just dripping with evil when he talks.
Hmm.
His breathy voice when he talks, I was just like, oh man, he is about to do some shit. um. So all right, so let's go to the scores. So for cast, you gave it a 9.
Yeah.
I gave it a 10. Um, because I'm like, oh, Rhoda Mitchell, um, Katie Holmes, all those, I had
Yeah.
all those guys. I was at 5 people that I knew right off the bat. Um, acting, we're both at an 8. I think the acting's solid across the board. Um, for the plot,
This is my favorite
this
trailer.
seemed to be your favorite trailer. You gave
This
it
is
a
my
10. I
favorite
gave it
trailer.
a 9. Um,
Yeah.
so totally cool with that. For ending, you gave this a 10. I also gave it a 9. I thought the ending was great, but again, I wanted a little bit more from the ending.
Okay. Cool.
For story, you said this was one of your favorite parts. You gave it a 10, which makes
Hmm.
sense. I gave it an 8. I thought it was a solid story. Good stuff all the way through. There wasn't a whole lot of draggy parts. Um, not necessarily too predictable, but it was predictable enough to where I
Hmm.
couldn't give it a perfect score. Um, you gave the script a 9. I went 8, which makes sense. You went 8 for cinematography, and I went 9. I liked some of the wide shots of the street and the buildings
Yeah.
and things like that. I kind of liked what they did with the little real estate that they had,
Hmm.
the different angles and things like that. I really enjoyed that. Reminded me of Vantage Point, although
Mm.
it
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
told from different places. But the cinematography reminded me of Vantage Point. Um, for direction, you went 8, and I went 9. For soundtrack, we're both at a 6. Again,
Yeah.
decent music, but forgettable. Um, for the wild card element, you gave it a 10 and I gave it a 9. Solid thriller, good
Yeah.
scores. Um, this is a really good movie.
Yeah.
And, I'm glad we decided to do 6
Me too. It was a
because
happy accident last
yeah,
week,
yeah.
and we have to
It,
keep up with that.
it was a happy accident. And I think we keep doing it. Just because on the outset that, we don't give a movie as good of a score as we think we do, then maybe it doesn't deserve to be in the top 10.
Right. Pretty in Pink.
Pretty Pink. um. Okay, so let's go to the scores.
Let's do it.
All right. Coming in at number 12 and getting eliminated is Pretty in Pink. Um, not to spoiler alert, Pretty in Pink is we got the lowest score with a 67.5. Dell did not like Vantage Point. I totally get it. I agree to a point. I mean, I I don't like when you're repeating the story over and over from different angles, and that makes the movie longer for me. It drags.
Yeah.
I was just talking about the cinematography for like the one shots.
Yeah.
You know, I liked those, but yeah, I wasn't a fan of Vantage Point. I feel the same way about Vantage Point that I do about Last Duel. I did not like Last Duel because it basically told the same story from three different points, all leading up to the whole duel at the end. I wasn't a fan.
I still need to get that 4K.
All right, so coming in at number 11 is now different than we had it before. So coming in at number 11 and also eliminated is Predator with a 76.5.
That's still a good score.
Yeah, it's a good score. It's 9 points higher than Pretty in Pink, but it still came in as the second lowest score and gets eliminated. Number 10 is Pan's Labyrinth. Barely makes the top 10 with a 78. Number 9 with a 79 is Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Number 8, and I gotta go. Yeah, number 8 is Perks of Being a Wallflower with an 82. Oh no, I'm sorry. Go back because I had to move it. Pandorum has a different score, so Pan's Labyrinth is 10. Pandorum is 9 with a 78.5. Pirates of the Caribbean is 8 with a 79. Perks of Being a Wallflower is 7 with an 82. Promising Young Woman is 6 with an 82.5. So now we're getting into the top 5. At number 5 with an 84 is Parasite.
What? Parasite?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I figured that'd be close to number 1. Damn.
Right, and it got the most votes in the poll. So Parasite comes in at number 4.
Be number 1.
That was your pick to be number 1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Coming in at number 4 with an 85 is Prisoners. At number 3 is Philadelphia with an 86. And that was my pick for number 1. At number 2 is Phone Booth with an 86.5.
Oh, wow.
And at number 1 with an 87 is The Prestige.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that coming.
Yep. It was a surprise. I was like, oh, wow. But it was interesting. But good scores. I mean, aside from Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, that didn't deserve to be in the top 10. I'll admit that. I panicked when I picked. Not as bad as
panicked with the P's, but I mean, it's kind of like, oh crap, I gotta think of something that starts with that letter. Pretty in Pink, and and that was something that was on my list too. I was like, I had a bunch of P's listed that I
Yeah.
was gonna go, okay, this, and I want to go with these. Um, and then once you picked Pretty in Pink, I crossed that off of my list, and I went with different ones. Um, but so we had one of yours and one of mine eliminated, which brings us to total for our first episode of the P's. The score is 23-32. You win the first round.
Oh, nice. I haven't won
Yeah.
like in 700 weeks.
You haven't won it forever. No.
I know.
Um no, yeah, you haven't won in a while. But yeah, you took it this time with the better P movies.
Yeah. But all
Um
of the movies were good. The top 10 movies, I mean, except for
like I
Project
said,
11.
87 to 76.5, we're almost within 10 points with
Yeah.
11 movies. If we just do our top 10, there's only 9 points difference
Yeah.
between 78 and 87.
I
So
like this idea of 6 movies. I really do.
I do too. It allows us to get rid of the lower ones and
Yeah.
just do the thing. Um, it'd be
I
it'd
guess
be
we should have stated
interesting.
I guess we should have stated the rules at the top of the show is in order for us to pick the movies, we either have to have them on Vudu
Oh,
or
right, very good point.
physical media.
We have to own the
Hmm.
movie, either physical or digital. We have to
Yeah.
own it. It can't be streaming.
Yeah.
It has to be Vudu. Well, Vudu, Movies Anywhere,
Yeah.
iTunes, whatever. But you have to own it, or you have to actually have the physical release. The other thing is it can't be a movie that we've already reviewed
Yeah.
this year.
That's what made. Yeah.
That made it interesting because
Yeah.
you know there were some P movies that I was like, oh, I want to do this. Oh crap, we already did that.
Yeah.
um, but um, once we get to the first of the year, then maybe we'll go back and we'll do some other movies again. But I like kind of trying to come up with different movies
Me
that
too.
were
I like not having the ones
um,
that we've already scored.
yeah, because we
That
could we
makes it.
could sit there and score. um, I'm just gonna say Forrest Gump. We can score Forrest Gump like 4 or 5 times, but I'd rather have come up with a whole bunch of different ones. That there's hundreds of thousands of movies out there
Yeah.
in history, and I know I have almost 7,000 myself physical. I have 7,000 physical and 1,100 or so digital.
Yeah.
So I mean, aside from a few letters like X and shit like that,
Well, we have an idea for X
we have an
movies.
idea for those odd letters where there's very few titles.
Yeah.
But um, we can come up with movies for a while.
Yeah.
I
And that's
think
what I
I think
like
we can
about
I think we can do this whole series without crossing movies
I
with
think we could
anything that
do
we've done previously.
because we can't use the um eh,
The N or A
yeah.
don't count.
So like say we get S, simple favor, a simple favor. We can
Yeah,
use that
would
as an
count. Yeah. Or we get D, we can do The Descent,
yeah.
or except that was in my horror section, but
Yeah.
same type of thing. So you can pick.
Hmm.
Well, in this case, you did The Prestige.
Yeah.
Um, I did want to ask you though,
Hmm.
because um, what did you had something you have something for the ends,
Hmm.
and I was wondering about that because I almost picked something for N, but it was National Lampoon, like National Lampoon's Animal House, for example.
I'd say do it because I mean it's national. The title of the movie is National Lampoon's Animal House or National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Right. Thanks, Mike. I really appreciate it,
Yeah,
bro.
thank you.
And I dig your guys' show too. If you guys ever want to collaborate, yeah, he has a movie review thing going on too that he does some stuff.
Oh,
He has
awesome.
he has a podcast going. So
Does he have a YouTube channel?
yeah,
Oh, you have to send me a link.
yeah, I'll do that.
Send me a link. Yeah, what were we just saying? Titles. I think National Lampoon's would have
Yeah,
worked because it's
yeah.
um,
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking, and I'm just gonna say it. One of your picks that you did was New Nightmare, and that's titled Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
oh, it
So
is.
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that. I just saw the new because I just bought it
well, because
last
I'm
week.
like, I think it could be either or, like John Carpenter's The Thing. Is that under J for John Carpenter, or would it be under T for The Thing?
See, I see T on that one because to me it's the thing.
Yeah,
Because I don't count the. I mean, I guess I didn't know that it was called Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I didn't
yeah,
know that. And
yeah.
so
I
you
mean, that's how. I mean, I have it listed under the Nightmare on Elm Street series because it's part of the franchise.
I went
Um,
with the end because for noon I didn't even think of.
yeah,
Uh,
but I think it can go either way. But then that made me think. Okay, so if it's National Lampoon's Animal House, then we got to put it under A for Animal House, and not under N for National Lampoon. And I think that's the way to go
okay,
because National Lampoon's Van Wilder, for example,
yeah,
would be under V for Van Wilder.
okay, yeah, because
So
yeah, that makes sense now that you say it. And,
yeah,
yeah,
just like it, because John Carpenter's The Thing or John Carpenter's Vampires, we have it under Vampires or
yeah,
Thing. So
okay, yeah. Oh man, I didn't even realize it was called. I thought they were just throwing his name on the front of the title,
yeah,
to get name recognition.
no, yeah, it was a little thing. So yeah, it's called Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
I didn't
Um,
know that.
yeah. Anyway, um, I think that's awesome. Great show.
Yeah, we didn't get it
Uh,
under 2 hours.
we didn't get it under 2 hours. We're under three, so we tightened it up a little bit. But I think
A little more
let's
tightening.
yeah, a little more tightening. We'll talk about format a little bit
Mm,
and um, see how if we can tighten it up further. Um, and maybe I don't know. I'm
well,
kind of
part of it
tough.
too is I gave you the wrong score. You had to redo it.
I had to
You had to
redo the
step away.
score. I had switched a couple of
Mm-hmm.
variables on a couple of
Yeah.
movies, but again, it was our first time doing it this
Mm-hmm.
way, so I think that'll get better. We'll tighten that
Yeah.
up. Um, but I think a little bit less tangent moments
Yeah.
jumping around. I like them though. I don't have a problem with it, but just I mean tightening up the scores a little bit.
Yeah. I totally
Either
agree.
either we're like, okay, do our likes and dislikes, and then just motor through the scores really quick. And I think we kind of got that toward the end.
Yeah.
It got better. Um, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. We will.
But all right. So what was your biggest surprise of this? I know neither of us expected Prestige to
No,
win.
I didn't. I figured Parasite would score higher. I really did.
I figured Parasite would be top three.
Me too. I
Absolutely.
really did.
I figured Parasite top three, and
I
then
didn't see Phone Booth being in top three.
I didn't see Phone Booth.
Mm-mm.
That was an afterthought for me. That was an alternate.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, let's do Phone Booth, and that was only because you picked Perks of Being a Wallflower. Otherwise, that would have been my pick.
Right?
Um, but Phone Booth was good. It got great scores. It's actually a really good movie.
It
Really
is.
well
It
done.
really is.
And to
Yeah.
get second place, I was really surprised.
Me too.
Um, but I dug it. So yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I think the lower scores weren't that big of a surprise.
No.
I was
Especially
not
after we watched.
surprised. I wasn't surprised with Pretty in Pink. Originally Pandorum was going to be eliminated as number 11 because
Oh,
Pandorum and Predator tied.
Oh,
So that was my tie, and it was 11 and 10. So I was like, oh crap! So one's gonna stay, one's gonna go. So I got rid of Pandorum because um, Predator is more nostalgia. It's an older movie.
yeah.
It's the classic. But then once you change the cinematography on Pandorum, Predator drops,
That was
and that
my
actually
sorry.
actually jumped Pandorum above Pan's Labyrinth and made Pan's Labyrinth number 10. So
I enjoyed Pandora.
that's how close these movies were together. Like I
Wow,
said, 9 points separating 1 to 10,
that's crazy.
and that's really close. We didn't have any 90s, but
Mm-mm. I'm
um,
surprised too, especially with
yeah,
Prisoners in there, Prestige.
Prisoners, because I gave Prisoners a 90 when I reviewed it originally,
Wow.
but still we were right there, 85.
Yeah,
So it still holds up, but awesome. It was a good show,
yeah,
bro.
it was fun. New format, new season.
Yeah,
Uh, love it.
and I did the outro this time with the scores and recap. I redid it, so hopefully it turns out. I also changed the music.
Oh, nice.
So let me know what you think of that when we go out.
Oh well.
Um, but that's it for us, you guys. That's a wrap for
Thanks
the
for watching.
4K lowdown for our first episode of season 2.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to go on Thursday also because I'm on vacation early in the week. So next week, Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Our letter is N as in Nancy. So we've picked 12 movies, 6 each, under the letter N. And I have the handy dandy bag. We're going to pick
Hey,
the letter for our show on the 14th, which we're going moving to Mondays, starting the 14th of November. And here we go. Huh. All right. This is going to be easy. So on
F.
the 14th, our letter is T.
E. Nice.
Um, but we can't use the.
Right.
So no thes. And nothing that we've already done. So,
Right.
no Terminator,
We
no
haven't done that. Me and you
uh,
haven't done Terminator.
I did Terminator 2, I
Did you?
think. Yes, in sci-fi.
Claws. Sorry.
Plus, your cat's going. Cool show, guys. Have a good night. You
Thank
too,
you,
Dell.
pal.
Thank you, bro.
Again,
All right, we're
thank
gonna
you.
get out of here. You guys like and subscribe. Turn your notifications on. We'd really appreciate it. Follow TurnerFan77 on Instagram, YouTube. Check him out on Letterboxd.
Thank
He
you.
always has views on there. He's done way more movies on Letterboxd than I have. I'm
I love
just
that.
getting Letterboxd started. So the 4K lowdown is on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, TikTok. I
Yeah.
think I got them all. Um, but TikTok, I'm working on.
TikTok's hard for us old
It
people.
tick. I'm trying to go in there and just pictures of doing picture galleries of my collection and stuff like that.
Right.
I'd like to start throwing reviews on there too.
I thought about trying to figure it out, but I have to have
Um,
my daughter help me.
I know I've got it, but it's just I've got to have the time.
Yeah.
It's easy to record a 15-second video, but it's not easy to take the time to record a 15-second video. and what am I going to say in those 15 seconds? Hey, it's 4K
Right.
lowdown, blah blah blah, and then it's done, and I'm like, ah, crap. And I don't want to do the full minute because nobody can pay attention for a full minute on
Right.
TikTok. Um, so I'll get it worked out, but I think I've got like 20 something followers on TikTok.
I got
Um,
you.
but um, but yeah, everything else I'm on. And when we go live, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter all at the same time. So
Yeah.
hopefully you guys can check us out on any one of those platforms. But definitely like and subscribe.
Definitely do
Um,
that. Hit
hook
them
hook hook my
buttons.
brother Turner fan up because he's
And
got great
everybody,
content.
it's fun doing.
And
I love doing this show. It's fun. I see movies I haven't seen in a while, and movies I haven't seen at all. So that's one thing
yeah,
I love.
I like it because we're able to recommend stuff that
Hmm.
neither that one of us hasn't seen. that the other hasn't seen or hasn't seen in a really long time. And it's like, oh wow, I'd love to revisit that. And
Yeah,
it's been awesome. I really like doing the show with you, bro.
me too.
It's been great.
Feelings mutual.
Um and I really like, getting season 2 started, and we're calling it Sesame Street Top 10 because everything's going to be brought to you by a letter or a number
Love
depending
that.
on what we get.
Absolutely love that.
So this has been Sesame Street Top 10 episode 1, brought to you by the letter P. And next week we will do the letter N. And then stay tuned for the 21st, where we are going to do our first episode of Comic Talk.
Yeah, I forgot about it. Let me plug that.
Go ahead and plug that.
Comic book show. Shoot for the 21st. I'm going to be interviewing David about comic books. So yeah, I want to pick his brain about his love of comic books if he doesn't love them. So yeah, tune in the 21st episode 1 of Comic Talks or Comic Talk, whatever I called it.
Comic Talk.
Yeah,
I think it was Comic Talk. But yeah, like the thing. But that'll be. I think we'll do StreamYard for that too, because you got the.
Yeah, because I'm still trying to figure that out myself. So.
Yeah. But we'll figure that out. I'll help you get set up.
Yeah.
But yeah, look for that on
November
on Turner Fan 77's channel, because that's where it'll air. I'm looking forward to that. Our first episode of that, and we'll try to keep that going and talk comic books and
Thank
stuff.
You,
so
Michael,
that'll be fun.
Right, just came across my screen.
Nice. Thanks, bro.
Thank you for that.
I really appreciate that. All right, let's get out of here, bro. I'm gonna throw the outro out.
Be safe.
Take care, everybody. See you next week.